Welcome to the Dirty Casual Corner, episode 8. You know, punches just keep coming and we're just taking him in the face, so...
Yeah, we love that shit.
Yeah, right now we just pre-gamed it a little early. Yeah, so Sean, let's start with our beer selection.
Had to get set up, so had a few drinks to get it started. So as usual, the Bud Light Platinums always come in with the clutch.
Yeah, hey, yo Bud Light, if you hear us out anytime in the future, just come over, sponsor us.
We'll show you harder than anyone's ever showed you before,
dude. We'll do our best.
All we need is a 6-pack per week. That's all. That's
just
it.
A free 6-pack, maybe a shirt or two.
I'd be down.
Yeah. So we got Bud Light Platinum,
and then we got some ciders as well to kind of mix it up a little bit. Some Angry Orchard and Reds.
Yeah. I pounded down my Angry Orchard original. So
I'll be cracking into the Reds later.
Yeah. Well, I just needed something to pregame.
I'll probably smash it in the next 10 minutes. But anyways, so here we are, episode 8. And let's get into our recap.
Segment.
Yeah, so let's jump in there. What have we all been watching?
Well, I've been
past 2 weeks.
I'll start off here. I've been watching Overlord.
Okay.
So season 2 came out this winter season, and kind of surprised me that it came out this season because we did a fucking preview for it last time, which got taken down by YouTube.
Right.
But I think what I was more surprised was with how kind of dull and long the beginning episodes were. I'd say around episode 3 was when things got spicy near the middle.
So what about the first season? Was the first season slow like that, or was it always kind of...
Well, it revolved at least around the main character dude, like, always. And what threw me off about season 2 was, like, episode 1, you got him and the crew, basically, and then it ended off with the lizard men. So episode 2, 3 were just all lizard men.
Mm-hmm.
Like, no mention of, like, I forgot the guy's name again, but he calls himself Einzelgone in the game. That's his villain name, basically. Right. So, like, he doesn't show up for episode 2 or 3, and these lizard men just are having a bad day because, they just got announced that they're all going to get wrecked one by one. And episode 4 left off with just them winning. No, I'd say episode 3 left off with them winning, and then episode getting smacked in the face by our favorite villain, basically. So, like, he shows up, tells them, all right, you're gonna become, like, our servants, basically. You're gonna be under our banner and shit by force. So, like, but we don't want to just fully assimilate you by force. We want you to send, like, your champions and shit to fight us. One of my champions, like.
So they want to utterly humiliate them.
Yeah.
Essentially.
And there's a bigger plan that I don't want to get into, but like I do want to leave it off with this. It ended off in episode 4 with cute Bay lizard girl, albino lizard girl.
Okay.
Totally begging to be impregnated by this one lizard bro.
I mean, I'm always down with some monster girls.
I am too. I didn't think I'd get into it, and then just like, bam. Right there at the end, impregnate me, and I'm just like, well, this was interesting. I mean, I was watching with a friend, so it's just like we were just enjoying that shit together, and that totally took us by surprise. And another anime, me and my friend DJ were watching. Our friend DJ, technically.
Right, yeah.
We were watching an anime called Handshaker. I don't think it's this season. It might be last season.
Yeah, I recognize the name.
It's.
Give me a short overview.
It's a total CG anime where like, it's so unique because it's kind of like a Fate Stay Night knockoff, I guess. Like you got people.
Oh, that one. Okay, yeah. Okay. As soon as you said that,
master servant thing going on,
right?
And like.
That might actually even be this season, honestly.
I don't think so, but I mean, the premise is basically kind of like that, and the only thing that's changed is they call the people who use this like thing called handshakers. So they're called handshakers. They're servants are Nimrods, and they fight in the ziggurat. So if you don't know anything about biblical stories, it's basically the Tower of Babel shit, you know. Which I kind of can get kind of behind that, but there's just one thing I really hate about it. They really love this. You know, have you ever seen an anime where they pull out the sword slowly and you get that little gleam ball effect that just slowly glides? They love abusing that effect.
Okay.
And it's just one of my myths. Another myth is that they kept recycling 2 or 3 scenes repeatedly. Like,
so it's low budget.
I'd say they put most of their budget,
or they just are bad at animation.
I'd say they're new, but what I didn't like was just like, I feel like they're trying to cut corners and save money in the long run, which makes sense. I've seen that stuff happen, but I mean, it's obviously
so reused. Yeah. Just checking here, it's Studio Go Hands.
I've never heard of.
They don't have a large, what do you call, resume here.
Let me see their resume. Princess Lover.
I mean, it's like one thing every year, maybe. That's about all they've done. Setokai Yaku Indomo, that was a slice of life. The Dirty Jokes one, which of course it didn't require much animation at all.
No, it didn't.
K, that one was...
Oh, K Kings, yeah, see, that's...
That one was decent, I guess, in animation, but I didn't like the anime.
I liked it. I mean, it was being edgy, that's for sure, and I get that same feel with Handshakers.
But yeah, I guess really CG-wise, because those weren't CG, but CG-wise, if you know Marduk Scramble.
Marduk Scramble was...
yep, that was what they did, so... That might kind of be what their CG is like. So
no, it's
still different. Okay,
it feels totally CG. At least the environments are CG, and like whatever animation they have for the characters, it's still kind of CG-ish. Like I feel like
it's kind of stiff. Then that kind of stiff feeling.
It's kind of fluid in some sense, but I mean, it's just I'm kind of picky with my animation, and like CG, there's only one CG show I ever liked, and that's Arpeggio of the Blue Steel.
I'm also a very big fan of Arpeggio. It was off-putting at first, but after you get past that, it's a beautiful anime.
It is, and I don't want to go too much into detail about Handshakers, because I'm only in episode 4.
Yeah, so
that's where I stopped.
Just bringing up, that was actually... I think I'm thinking of another Fate spinoff that aired very recently, but this one was winter 2017, so about a year ago that Handshakers aired. But I think there's another Fate spinoff that happened recently, so I mean everyone's just on that train.
Dang. Well, I mean, well, hey, I'd say this is probably a little bit more enjoyable than Apocrypha. Shots fired here.
Just
definitely.
About. I mean,
about the same.
Besides Astolfo, just about anything's more enjoyable than Apocrypha.
All right, and I'll just say this last thing. There's one pair I like in the Handshakers, and that's this like adult lolly girl paired up with this like kind of like I'd say some guy in his 20s.
Okay.
But she looks like a little kid, and they keep making the joke where they're like, "Oh, I'm sorry. Here's your alcohol," and they give it to the guy, and she gets the soda thing, and it's just like after the girl leaves, she's like, "Fucking bitch, they messed with my order again," and she just switches off to the beer and shit. She's a hard drinker. I like that character type.
I'm down with that.
I love dwarfism in all its forms.
So they need to find in Japan
a nice lolly girl.
Dwarfism lolly girl who likes to pound some drinks.
Especially if she can outpound you.
That's the dream.
That's the dream. All right. So
what else? What else you got?
This is in the dub section too. So Shimonetta.
So what's that?
That's the lewd jokes. No, like anything lewd is like totally banned in like Japan and this kind of like totalitarian setting. They're like everything lewd is banned. Like magazines, photos, jokes are banned, and everyone's like kind of monitored to like be totally like strictly just pure.
Right. Yeah,
and what got me into it was just this small segment in a YouTube video that I saw. I was just like, okay, the dub for this doesn't sound too bad. And then I watched the first episode, and holy shit! Like 5 minutes in, they throw in like the girl who does the superhero Blue Snow,
fucking
loved her job because she's just saying so many fucking lewd slurs and all this shit, and just like, yeah, just oh my god, Bukkake's fucking of it. It's like she just totally goes full Tourette's, man, and like people are freaking out. They're fucking like don't even know what to do. She's throwing around lewd photos everywhere, and like I just knew like. Yeah, they had the voice actors had fun for this.
Who was the girl who did this character here that has white hair, the crazy-eyed girl?
In the English dub or
not dubbed. But what's her name in the anime?
Shoot, I don't even remember.
If you don't know, then that's fine.
Yeah, you could probably find it. Otome, no.
Is she in the student council?
Anna Nishiomiya.
Yeah, unfortunately, I know she passed away a few years ago. Basically very soon after doing that anime, so I just remembered that. Unfortunately, that the girl who did the Japanese voice on that passed away, which was a very sad time.
Yeah, okay, now I feel bad. What notable roles did she do?
So this is Miyu Matsuki for anyone.
Fullmetal Alchemist, who was she? Oh god.
Fullmetal Alchemist, that was a sister, episode 16, so probably a smaller role in that.
It doesn't say.
Claymore is Flora. Carnival Phantasm is Hisui. Mostly smaller roles as far as I see.
Isekai no Sekaishi Monogatari.
But I know people were very very sad about her passing.
I bet if I look in depth, I'd probably find something.
She'd been doing stuff for a long time. I mean, she had been doing stuff since '98. So
she's got a record. I could see already on the wikis.
Yep. But so. Just wanted to bring that up because you said Shimometa. I remembered from years ago that the one of the voice actresses had passed away. So,
dude,
but not to bring it down, but go on.
Well, I'm just gonna say if you want to watch something cringy that'll like fucking make you laugh or make you cringe even more, watch Shimoneta because the first episode literally has lewd sex moans with flies in it. Like, it's just. I can't go into more detail than that because it's just almost self-explanatory. These guys are so pure that they're just watching this in this auditorium. They're like, what's going on? I feel weird down there and up here. And it's just like, oh God. It's like I'm watching a porn. Because, they just do the whole moaning thing.
Right, yeah.
So that's just the premise of the show. Once you get past that, you might enjoy it. But that's it. And,
all right.
All right, now it's time to go to something that you and I have been watching. Laid Back Camp. Yuru Camp.
Yuru Camp. Oh, how I love this anime.
Are you caught up with it?
I'm caught up.
Okay.
So
can we agree?
I'll jump ahead.
Do it.
To describe what happened in the past 2 episodes because I did make notes of what happened. So episode 5, because we've had 2 weeks. So episode 5, that was the hot spring episode. Where
just right.
It was very nice, and then you had Rin driving out on her little scooter out to the hot spring,
and it's closed.
And it's fucking closed. The look on her face, the disappointment,
total despair.
You could just feel it. You could just feel it in the air, the despair, while everyone else is relaxed, chilling.
And that's
asleep.
Just her. The way I see it, it's her fault for going alone because she does this thing on her own always. And
yeah, that's true. She's a loner, but
that just makes her just better.
Let's bring up episode 6, the most recent.
Western bro.
Nadeshiko and Rin gonna finally camp together. Nadeshiko's older sister driving them out to the campsite.
Yeah, that happened actually. Like officially, they actually camped together. But what I remember, the most notable thing for episode 6 for me was. The girl scouting around and this guy.
Forehead, Chiaki.
Chiaki shows
she's cruising around the campsite. All of a sudden, she sees
this Western fucking guy,
old man,
with a fucking huge ass pan with meat and a fucking
and then
his tent is epic. It's a one pole tent
with just a little bed sitting there, and then all you see is.
He's so intimidating. He just calls her over.
He just says, just waving his hand, come, and she's timid, coming up very slowly.
And then he's like, "You want to meet?
Do you want some meat?"
I feel like there could be some dojins just from that.
Maybe.
And I mean, yo, dude, the way he was cooking, they put so much detail in his cooking. Like, and how was he doing it? He was like, did he use a knife to flip it over? Just stabbed it, flipped it over.
I think so. Yeah.
Like the guy practically looked like a Japanese version of Crocodile Dundee. Like, I loved it. It's just like some Western looking guy, totally out of place in Japan society. You know, just give some random strange girl some meat.
But yeah, so that was good shit. I love that episode. That one was
it was such a funny episode.
It was good. And so
the jokes keep piling on.
They do. They kind of build up, and I like how they're kind of doing the dynamic where they keep putting certain characters together by themselves camping. Mm-hmm. Like maybe two characters camp together and then a different two camp together. So you kind of get these different dynamics instead of it just being the whole show is just all four of them camping together.
And when they do show a character, it feels natural. Like
exactly, yeah.
The girl that's working, you know, when they go to some random supermarket, they see our best, one of our favorite girls so far. If you can show a little preview.
Oh wait, that wasn't her.
It should be that one. There you go.
Aoi here.
Aoi here. All right, get out of here.
That's for later.
That's for later. So they show that girl in just a supermarket, and it's just totally natural. It's like, oh shit, you're working? Like, oh yeah, since last week. Yeah. And it's just like, I'm sold.
Yeah, I like the character dynamics because they don't force them by just having them all together all the time, like a lot of other slice of lives do, you know?
Yeah.
Where it's like these characters are always just going to be together, but rather they kind of pair them.
Or they just randomly show up without any meaning.
Exactly.
Like, oh, we just happen to be here.
Exactly. Which I like how Yuru Camp does it, so it's definitely...
It's so passable. Like,
exactly.
You can't get angry at it.
It's all believable, which is really nice. It's like, it's very natural and believable.
Next one for me is, I'll skip Junji Ito, so I'll give that to you. Because, you know, you love your boys.
Well, okay.
And I think you're caught up, right?
I actually am not. That's the problem here.
Are you on 5?
I am... let's see here. Junji Ito, I'm on 4. I've watched number 4. I'm a little behind.
Okay, I'll tell you this much for Junji Ito. Cringe Boy is back.
Oh, they're bringing it back? Okay.
They brought him back.
Okay.
And, I don't want to go into detail about that.
Okay.
Just, I think you know it already. It's the cloth puppet one.
Okay.
It's just a really dorky ass one.
Okay.
And I hate that character so much.
Shuichi, I think is
Shuichi.
his name?
I hate Shuichi so much.
Okay.
But skipping ahead, Darling of the Franxx.
Oh, here we go. You haven't seen this. You didn't see this last time podcast.
Yeah. Last podcast.
I brought it up last podcast, but now we have a fresh opinion here.
I gotta say, I see where you're getting at with the whole Shinji vibe. He does have it, but I think he's got more balls than Shinji.
I think he is a very small step above Shinji.
Just not by much.
But it's not very much.
No.
I'm hoping again it's a trigger anime, so they could go off the far end and do something crazy. But
the strange thing is, I don't know who I hate more, that guy or the short kid.
Yeah,
like
I feel like
I could hate them both the same way, but just one has to be above the other, and I haven't decided who.
Yeah, but anyways, the only reason anyone's watching that is for 02.
02, basically.
Best girl this season.
Agree.
She's up on our screen right now.
You know, the girl with the pink hair and the horns and the...
You already know.
Yeah.
She's best girl. You literally...
I'm only staying for her. There's some drama I kind of like building up that's already there, but otherwise... It's definitely for her. I'm sticking around for that character because she's the only interesting character.
She is so good, though. I don't know how they wrote her just right, where she just feels so different.
I mean, she's not even human, technically.
Yeah, but it's like, at the same time, it's like, I don't know, there's something about her that you just want to get in that ass.
I don't know. I don't feel that way about you, Matt, about that. But,
do you not want to ride her?
Okay, just given the context of the anime... I guess. Yeah.
Everyone wants to ride 02.
Yeah. She's the most... But character-wise, she's the most interesting character out of the entire cast.
Because she's still got a little mystery behind her, so... And
she acts different. Everyone else just feels like they're all supporting cast.
Exactly. And she's the dominating... She's the dominating...
Takes no shit. Just gives no fuck.
Gets what she wants. Yeah. I love her so much.
Yeah, and just I hate the main character except for her. She's the only reason I'm sticking around.
Yeah.
All right, no, basically. I got 2 more because let me see. This one totally hit me by surprise, but it's a Type Moon anime, and it's today's menu for Emiya.
Okay.
It's
I heard about this from David.
It's a cooking anime. No?
Yep.
Where like it just has fake characters and like it's a very pastel heavy anime, but unlike I gotta remember a few other shows that have that pastel effect. They kind of make the backgrounds look kind of weak in a sense, but not Type Moon. They know how to make the most out of their details.
So you just mean art-wise?
Art-wise, it
Hidamari sketch.
Hidamari sketch, definitely not like that.
Not that extreme.
Not that minimal.
Okay.
Like they put so much detail in the simplicity of things. Like,
okay, I see that. Okay.
And it's still heavily, brightly colored.
So maybe closer like Nichijou or something?
I'd say closer to Nichijou.
Okay.
Just 5 steps higher than that.
Okay. Gotcha.
It's Type Moon.
Right.
It hit me by surprise. I love it. And it gives me a greater sense of Lancer for episode 2. Because Lancer was always a bro.
Okay. I'll give my opinion, not having watched the anime, but just seeing from an outside perspective and being a big Type Moon fan and have, of course, read Fate Stay Night and everything. Are these fighting words? No, not necessarily, but I think it's just, it's kind of just one of those things of maybe milking a little too hard.
It is. I'll agree with you there.
Yeah.
But I'll even agree with you there. I thought that too initially. But the way they handle it, it's like, I want it. They go into enough detail on these recipes, like, probably like 4 minutes of it is recipe making. And like, it's just Emiya's like, alright, this is what I have to do for this. I already prepared this broth, and it tells you how he did it the night before in this process, how to cut the onions, how to do the garnish for the soup. And then this next one is a simple recipe for, episode 2 was a simple recipe for salmon. And of course, Lancer shows up because he was the guy at the fish market. And he's totally a bro. Not to mention he brought brew.
Alright.
So yeah.
Lancer is a bro though.
I'll agree with you there, but I could forgive that. It's Type Moon. They succeeded in this idea, in my opinion. And you should definitely give it a watch if you ever have an opportunity.
But then when is Best Girl Ilya showing up for dinner?
Episode 1.
Oh, okay.
Episode 1, she's then there.
They gotta bring her back then. She needs more than one. Best girl.
Of course, Taiga's gonna show up probably in every episode. Like,
so she's already been in.
She's already been pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, she basically lives there. I mean, in the Fate Stay Night visual novel, of course, she's always there. And then maybe Rin. We got my waifu Rin. Rin, who's on the screen right now, right in front of us.
I don't think she showed up for episode 1. Neither episode 2.
Okay.
Sakura didn't show up in a mention and in episode 1.
I feel like they have to bring them in though. I think.
No.
Do they not? They have to bring them in though, right?
Yeah. Although I know Shinji's gonna be involved.
No, he can't be involved.
He can't be. The opening shows that he's gonna be involved in the family.
Oh my god.
But
all right, burn
he doesn't
the show.
have the rapey vibe.
Burn it.
He does not have the rapey vibe. Like, Sakura has a good relationship with him. But that could be just for appearance sake.
Maybe.
But I don't want to believe that.
I'll hold judgment right now.
I don't want to believe that either, man.
Alright. So you got one more then, right?
Last one. And this is totally not anime related. The new Jumanji movie. So I watched it literally today, and it took me by surprise about how much I'd like it, because I've seen the trailer for it, and I kind of thought I'd probably enjoy it, but not as much as I enjoyed it, because I'll say this at the beginning. I hated the fucking characters. You got this wimpy ass nerd kid, you got this black jock who's like contacts for the wimpy kid and jock kid. They were best friends in middle school, and then he went to the whole fucking NFL loving thing, and like makes him do his homework and shit and doesn't want to hang out with him. This fucking popular selfie girl, hate her guts, and then this fucking smart ass other girl who's just like basically the opposite of the selfie girl. She's just that smart girl who just she says something and totally regrets it. She's too smart for her own good kind of deal. Well, I hate those actors. Just something about them tells me they're totally fresh. Like, but that's not important. Because once they get into the game, you get the real actors in.
The A-list,
the
A-list boys.
Bastards.
Yeah.
I don't know the girl, the female who did the super killer assassin-esque girl who's like, her weakness is venom. So anything venom related, she'll literally like fucking explode and then use up her life. Let me see. You're gonna pull it up?
Yeah, I'll pull it up. So go ahead. Keep going. I'll figure out who she is. But
so let me think. She's the smart girl. She's played by the smart girl, basically. So smart girl becomes a sexy ass bombshell. Wimpy ass kid becomes The Rock. I mean, Dr. Braveheart. And let me see. Selfie girl becomes Jack Black. And let me think. The jock becomes Kevin Hart. And they all sell the whole fuck. We're teenagers. Inside a video game aspect, like they act like they're still the characters, and like just having those moments just makes it feel a little bit more believable.
Right.
Plus, I mean, I love seeing The Rock freak out like a little bitch because the wimpy kid is afraid of everything.
Yeah. Despite
him being literally made out of stone in this game. Oh, dude, she looks fucking hot in the
so anyways, it's the girl. It's Karen Gillan.
Karen Gillan?
Now, you probably won't know her unless you watch Doctor Who. If you watch Doctor Who, you know exactly who she is. That's Amy. That's Amy. One of the best. Well, it's hard to say. If I remember correctly when I watched it, that was
If it was the blonde doctor after the guy from everyone's favorite doctor, technically.
Everyone's favorite doctor was
the guy from Harry Potter, basically.
Yeah. What? Man, I used to know all of them by heart, but I can't remember their names.
I don't think he's blonde. I think he might be a different hair
I'll tell you the name as soon as I see it.
There you go.
David Tennant. David Tennant was the one that everyone was craziest about.
Oh, okay, all right.
But that was she. Amy was not one of the doctor's assistant during that time. That was during Matt Smith. But Matt Smith was also very good.
I like Matt Smith. All right, but you're a good Whovian fan.
Okay.
So I'm sorry. I'm gonna talk shit right now.
Okay,
I hate Doctor Who.
I like Doctor Who. Except for after Matt Smith, like David Eccles, or not David, whoever Peter Capaldi.
Okay.
I don't like Peter Capaldi, and everything past that, but yeah, Christopher Eccleston, David Tennant, and Matt Smith. I think they were all really good.
I only remember David Tennant and Matt Smith. I'm just gonna say this straight out. I'm not a Doctor Who fan.
Sure.
And I probably could have been a Doctor Who fan if it wasn't for the terrible fan base that follow it.
I can understand you there, yeah.
Like nothing, no force on this earth can actually make me watch Doctor Who anymore.
For me, I didn't even really know shit about Doctor Who until a certain girl I had met got me into it. And then I watched it.
It's always the girl, man.
And then she went off, and then I kept watching until Capaldi, and then I was like, you know what? I don't like Capaldi. I'm done with this. I'll just remember the first 3 Doctors that I watched.
Okay.
And I like those 3 a lot. Otherwise, the rest is whatever to me. So.
Well, I'll agree with you. A girl did get me into it.
That's always how it happens.
That's always how it happens. And it just got emboldened with someone I knew who was very close to me, and okay, his name is Chaz. He got me into it.
I know Chaz.
I only watched the David Tennant up to a certain point. I watched the movie 3 times. where they switched David Tennant with Matt Smith.
There was one Christopher Eccleston episode that made me cry. That was really good. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, I think overall David Tennant was definitely the best. And then Matt Smith, that was when it started kind of going more action, less story kind of area. That's when it started kind of doing that transition where it's all action instead of story. But there were still some good episodes sprinkled in there. Yeah. But then Peter Capaldi, it's like it's all action, no story.
I don't know how I feel about Doctor Who though. I'm just telling you, I could probably enjoy it.
It's very hit or
miss.
People. I mean, if you can separate yourself from the community and everything, which is how I did because I only knew one person who even knew about Doctor Who. I never knew about it, and I just watched it kind of blind.
All right.
And even though it's cheesy, it's very cheesy.
Oh, it's totally cheesy. Yeah. I mean,
I think it's fairly enjoyable.
If you dig in a little deep about the whole science about it, it's a little fucking ridiculous. But I mean, that never stopped me from a good story.
Right.
And David Tennant sold me for the movie. I watched that movie 3 times.
And I'll say I have genetics for it because my dad has been watching Doctor Who since the 60s, so he's a big fan.
Dang. Well,
it's in my my genes.
Dude, I have the Champolín Colorado in my veins. So like, because I'm Mexican, we don't have this shit. We don't have BBC.
My dad was big sci-fi, watching
we don't have that.
Twilight Zone.
Okay, I'm
and all that stuff. All that stuff from like the 60s and 70s. All the Star Treks, everything. So.
I never knew anything about Twilight Zone until like an episode they aired at the auditorium in the high school. So then I got into it. I like the whole premise idea.
It's pretty decent, I think.
Let me finish up just the whole Jumanji thing because we went off on Doctor Who.
We're going off.
We hate it. Some people will hate it. Some people will love it.
I mean, that happens sometimes.
He loves it.
Here in Dirty Casual Corner, sometimes we go off on tangents. You know.
So let me just finish it up.
Go on.
Everyone is a great actor. They pulled off the whole you're trapped in a video game, and like the movie's enjoyable. You could probably watch it one time and you'll have a good time. The jokes are hilarious, and I mean, this like Kevin Hart, like being tough because he's the jock. You don't see that. You see Kevin Hart being a little bitch every time. He's like, he's afraid of his life and all that shit. So like,
I do like how they typecasted them very far beyond what they normally would be.
And Jack Black fucking stressed him. Jack Black pulls off the little girl. I mean, pulls off Selfie Girl so well, it's almost gay. She goes off on this pilot dude, who's the guy who gets trapped in the game first. Because that's how it happened with the original. You had what's his name? I feel bad for forgetting the guy. He died recently. Please, come on, man.
Who?
Robin Williams. That's how Robin Williams got into the game, because he was the first one in, and then the kids showed up, put their pieces in, and then Jumanji shit happened. So this pilot dude basically gets
poor Robin Williams.
Poor Robin Williams. This pilot guy is like, yo, so like, yeah, you're a girl? He's like, yeah, this is Bethany. She's you definitely want to bang her in real life. And they're like, yeah, probably. And they kind of make that pairing so cute, and then when they get out of the game, things change. He has a family, and I'm just like, oh god, is he gonna cheat? Is this gonna be a cuckold story now? No, nothing like that.
Okay.
So they pull off everything just well. And then once they go into real life, you could just walk out of the theater. Just walk out.
I think the only thing I hate about the Jumanji movie is that they called it Jumanji.
That's the only reason I couldn't get into it either.
Exactly. It's like, why couldn't they just make it something original? Because it basically was,
Jumanji was the first of its kind.
Exactly.
The last of its kind. Because I just think of this as an alternate universe thing. Just because Jumanji is so close to my heart.
It is.
It's
I love
a classic.
Movie.
But this new one is totally a comedy. Yeah, just watch it for the comedy aspect.
I'm definitely sure it's good, but it's just like, why would they call it Jumanji? It's like, why?
Hey, so I gotta make this comment about Jumanji though, for the new one. You and I have a penis. You know what's the best part about the movie for the Jack Black was?
What's that?
The girl had to figure out how to use the penis.
Oh man!
Just like, oh my god, this is so much easier.
This young teenager having a penis.
Best thing is she's like, oh my god, I have a penis, and like I can't fucking like take a selfie about it because like I don't have my phone, and I'm just like, fucking bitch. She's a bitch. I mean, she's totally changed after the movie, but
right.
Like I said, just get some popcorn in the first 10 minutes of it.
Right.
Once they're in the game, sit down. Don't even leave your seat. Not even to pee. Once they're out of the game, get out of the theater. That's it.
All right.
A-listers all the way, man.
All right. I feel it.
And that's a Monster Hunter reference right there. Okay, so that finishes up my watching segment.
All right, so let me jump into mine here. So what we got here? Don't worry, I've got pretty short. So I've been watching Euro Camp. I've already been into that. We already know what's up. We
know. We love it.
Pop Team Epic. Pop Tepipiku. So last time I had seen 4 because we did it on a Saturday. I'd watched the newest one, so there's only 1 episode. Are you caught up on Pop Team Epic?
I have
episode
not watched
5?
it. I left off at 2.
Oh man,
and it's still at 2.
Okay.
No, 3.
That show is just so trolly.
It is.
It makes fun of every single kind of genre that exists. And on episode 5, it was all about making fun of the standard, shoujo ai trump or the shoujo ai what's it called? Trope. Sorry.
Yeah.
And where it's girl falls in love with a pretty boy, and so on and so forth. They had like a full 5 minutes dedicated to this meme ass story, and it was good shit. I won't spoil it because it was actually hilarious.
I need to watch it. I need to continue it just because like I did enjoy enough of it to probably want to continue it. It's just literally I had Thursday to watch anything I wanted to watch basically, and yeah, it was just Emiya, Handshakers to finish it off because I left it midway. The other ones I just listed.
It's definitely not high on the list, even though it's like I'm watching it. I can't even recommend it to
You're watching
anybody.
it for a different reason than I am.
I think I'm just watching it because it exists, kind of thing,
Totally a different reason than I am.
It's like just because it exists as its own entity like that, I just have to watch it,
I watched it only because I want to see more stuff that they did at the beginning of episode 1. The parody of the whole like idol anime shit.
Yeah,
I could totally get behind that.
The only thing they do with that is like at the end of each episode, they kind of bring up that same exact story that's still going on.
You mean they continue that?
Well, what they do is kind of like how in an anime like that, at the ending they'll say a preview for the next episode, but instead of being a preview for Pop Team Epic, it's a preview for the next episode of the idol anime. That's what they do. If you watch enough, you'll kind of get it, but instead of being a preview for Pop Team Epic, it's a preview for that same story that's ongoing. Even though they don't show anything of it, they keep that kind of running joke going of this idol anime kind of like happening in the background.
Okay. I need to I usually skip the opening. I mean the ending, the opening.
Well,
I didn't continue it.
Yeah.
It's so low key though, right? I never watch previews for anything.
Yeah, it's a preview, but it's also part of the skit. I think it's like it has nothing to do with the preview for the next episode. It's just
its own entity.
It's a skit basically.
Okay. For
this idol anime.
So I guess I'll have to rewatch episode 2 and maybe 3.
But anyway, so otherwise, got Kokoku. So this time stop anime.
Yeah.
So they've been stuck in the stasis, is what they call it, for these whole 5 episodes. I do think it's actually pretty interesting. It's definitely a very strong mystery anime. It kind of brings up more questions than answers. Each episode, it's a new episode happens, then there's more stuff that you just don't know what's going on, and it's hard to tell if they're actually going to fully flesh it out or if it's just more stuff to speculate about.
Yeah. So
it is kind of slow. Like not in 5 episodes, you'd expect a lot more to happen, but I think it's fairly enjoyable for what it is. If you like those mystery kind of anime,
especially time stopping, time travel is my fetish basically. At this point,
it's hard to say. It's not really time travel. It's more just time stop.
Would you consider it science fiction?
Yeah.
Okay, then yeah, that's my shit.
Definitely
too.
Some kind of sci-fi.
I have to watch it,
but I do have to give high props to the opening. The opening is fucking amazing. It's probably the best opening of this season, in my opinion. It's so good. That's the only opening I don't skip.
I might have to fight. I'll have to bring it up on the next podcast, but I have to watch the openings just because the beginning episodes until I see the entire cast. I can't watch the opening or ending.
All right.
So
okay, you'll have to check it out eventually though, because it's so good.
Ooh, and I forgot to mention one of my animes, but you're gonna mention it right now.
Violet Evergarden.
Not even that.
You haven't watched that.
I haven't watched that yet.
So okay, let me jump into Violet Evergarden here. Violet Evergarden. So the good old KyoAni. It's still good.
It's still pretty.
It's very pretty, of course.
I haven't watched it, but I know it is.
Episode 4, we had the character Iris, her backstory. We went to her hometown and had a full backstory with her. It was decent. I think, even more so, I think even though it's a backstory for one character, it's really building on the main character, Violet's character. So it's like everything that happens kind of helps develop her as a person.
And as the viewer, for the viewer, basically, right?
Pretty much, yeah. So it was kind of like a both thing. And then number 5 was a really pretty story between a princess and a prince. And I won't spoil anything with that, but it was a very good story. Pretty much every episode is somewhat episodic so far. So I think it's very good.
All right.
And you should just watch it because it's fucking beautiful.
I know I should, and I've been putting it off just because I know it's on YouTube, but it slipped my mind literally yesterday.
Mean, you have to watch it in its full beautiful 1080p glory.
Good thing I think it might be in 1080p in YouTube, because YouTube has that quality. I've seen 4K videos on YouTube.
They are, yeah.
And,
but you have to make sure you're watching a nice rendition of it because it's so beautiful. It's like you need to watch it in its full glory.
And I have shit Wi-Fi, so just to make a comment, I did try to stream Shadow of the Colossus, and it totally crapped on me 5 minutes in.
Yeah.
So that's just saying, 1080p streaming might be difficult, but I have to watch it. It's the only way for Violet Evergarden.
You have to. So anyways, Mitsuboshi Colors, the 3 little lolly girls who are, Crime Stoppers.
This is one of my favorites, and I haven't watched it yet. Like, I love the premise of it. Plus, RPGs.
I would say, before I watched episode 5, I was going to say it's kind of falling off. It's a little boring. But then episode 5 just goes right back up again. It's like, it's good. It
started strong, dropped a bit, and now it's back up.
Exactly. It's like, it's one of those ones where it's like, you'll find an episode that you like here and there just because certain things might appeal to you more.
Okay.
But it's so adorable. The girls are so adorable.
I could get behind that entire premise. I'm just telling you.
Yeah, just depending on what you like, you might just find something boring, but you might find something just so fucking adorable that.
And I'm not gonna ask you on stream where you watch it, but you definitely need to send me the link to watch it. That's for sure.
I will have to get into that. So.
And this next anime?
So anyways, the last anime on my list here.
This is the one that I forgot to mention.
A Place Further Than the Universe. I'm not caught up to episode 6, but I hadn't watched it at all last podcast, but now I'm caught up to episode 5.
Okay, so I'll give you a little bit of 6 after yours, so yeah, come on.
So I really like the anime. I think it's a little bit slow. The first 3 episodes were just to introduce the 4 characters.
Basically.
And now they're kind of developing further along with episode 4 and 5, which, they're training for to go to Antarctica and all this stuff. So, and I think at the very end of episode 5 is when they finally went off
their travel.
Exactly. Now they're going to Australia. So I haven't seen the Australia episode yet in episode 6.
Before I get into the Australia episode, which is episode 6, episode 4. What do you think about the mom? The entire joke there.
I don't know. I don't know. I guess I never had a mom like that that would beat my ass, you know.
That you clearly aren't Mexican.
I'm definitely not Mexican. So what can you tell me about the mom? Is that did that trigger some things with you?
It brought some flashbacks, and I'll give you a little bit of a synopsis of my mom. Like, she's the sweetest thing ever, but you piss her off, and she has a home-seeking fucking chancla, sandal, basically, in English. So, I don't know, I don't even remember what I did. That's just how strong the trauma is. It's like, she could be brain damaged for that shit, but, we had this, like, big pillar dividing the whole thing. So, I knew if I got around that pillar and ran towards the hallway, towards the room, she couldn't hit me with a fucking sandal. Because if she got so angry, she'd toss that shit.
Yeah.
And I thought I was in the clear. And for some reason, I feel like heavy pain in the back of my head, and I fall down face first. And I was starstruck. Like, my mom curved that fucking sandal. Like, I just couldn't. I can't even explain it. I didn't even hear anything bouncing off to make that shit happen. So the only thing I could think of, she somehow fucking curved it. It was a home-seeking sandal.
Goddamn.
And that mom
gave you some vibes.
It totally brought that up for me. It's just like, this girl did not tell her mom she's going to Antarctica. Mom's pissed. And she's like...
She hides it well.
She's like...
She just...
Yo, so I heard from the neighbors about this whole thing. So do you want to go somewhere? Like Antarctica? Oh, fuck no. That JPEG.
Shit. And then the dad opens the door.
Just like... enters.
Dad, help me.
It's like...
Closes the door slowly. I'm sorry, my daughter.
Dude,
I'm sorry.
What I loved about that guy is just he opens the daughter, sees the situation, and he sees his wife with the ladle.
Yeah.
And she's like, slowly, like, moves the ladle towards her freaking other hand. And he just instinctively knows to not get involved.
Close the door.
The best thing about that scene was, she's knocking crazy for her dad to save her. And she's like, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
You fucked up, girl.
Yeah, it was good. I love that episode.
So that episode is great.
And so now we have to say...
Episode 6, right?
I'm not on that one, so... But who will we judge? Who is best girl?
Just let me give a little bit about episode 6, because I'm caught up. So, they're in Australia. Big whoop, right? So there's a good arc that gives this character, like... I forgot her name, but she's kind of like the Genki girl character. She's happy. She's like go-getting. She skipped school for a few years. Best thing ever. And episode 6 was basically her arc. Now that Sean's out of here for like the briefest second, she loses her passport, and her entire arc is just like her basically saying, okay, you guys go to Antarctica without me and all this shit. And it just develops, shows her as a character, and it shows the long-haired girl character who's just the girl who wants to go to Antarctica so badly because her mom's there. Lost her mom in the Antarctic. You know, she never came home. It just shows her in a different light, which makes me respect her more. So I gotta say that, like, it just makes it really great. And welcome back, Sean. You totally missed that.
Sorry.
No.
I was about to die.
It for the best. It's for the best.
You turned around Genki girl?
Yeah, you came out just in time. So
I didn't want to get spoiled anyways.
Genki girl is episode 6. That's her arc, and her reaction, her development with the main girl who wants to go to Antarctica. Which one is that one? I need a picture.
So
Shirase. So Shirase and
right.
And
now actually I just need to say something because I have this page open, but my fucking mind just got completely blown because one of my favorite voice actresses of all time, Kana Hanazawa, is actually fucking Shirase, and I didn't notice it because she actually does such a crazy job.
She does. She's so bipolar too.
I can't even believe that's her. It just blew my mind.
Alright.
Just reading that, I was like, oh my god.
So
that just made me love her even more.
Is this the part where we start fighting?
But I'll bring up Kana Hanazawa later. But anyways, best girl. Now I will say Genki girl is probably the sexiest, but she's not best girl. I must say.
I love Genki Girl. I love her entire mantra. I mean, she's a working girl, and she, despite her being a working girl, she still has time to play. There's something admirable about that. But she's not my best girl either.
Okay.
She's second. Shit. She's second, but I love her so much, right, as a character.
Then I don't know yours, but I'm gonna bring in my best girl. It's Yuzuki, the idol girl, but who hates being an idol.
No, I like Shirase.
Yeah, you like the mentally challenged one. Okay.
Oh, okay. You want to go there, huh? Okay. Reason I think she's the best girl in this show is because I love her passion, her dedication, and even though she has boundaries, she has trouble pushing, she still has that Mio vibe from K-On! You push Mio in a direction, and she, even if she doesn't want to do it, at the end of the day, she'll fucking nail it. And I just love it. Plus, I mean, she's a Jew. I mean it. Like, episode 6 just totally. She does the whole, like, if you see episode 6, you'll know what I'm talking about. Because when she realizes, like, something happens, what she did is totally negated.
Okay.
So it's just like,
I haven't seen 6 yet, so there's still maybe some character dynamics that may be a little up and down. But something about Yuzuki, I just love her. I think she's the most real character. She's the most down to earth.
Well, I can agree with you there, but I mean, I just don't like the whole idol aspect because, of course, that's how idols are. They don't like being idols.
Exactly, but she's very true to it. A lot of idols never admit that, and she's really down to earth about it. And it just brings this whole aspect that I don't know. It just feels really good with her.
And
then she had one look. I've already seen a picture of it in episode 6.
She's my fourth girl. She's at the bottom.
Oh man, you're I don't even know what to deal with you.
Okay,
but she had one look where she was looking down as if she was looking at trash.
So it has so in order of my pyramid from top to bottom is Shirase, Hinata, Mari, or is it Yuzuki?
So my list is totally brutal here. So
totally brutal.
Mine is Yuzuki, Hinata, and then Megumi.
So you don't even fucking consider Shirase?
Maybe in episode 6 she'll jump up. Actually, just being Kanahazawa that already brought her up a level. So we'll see in episode 6.
I think she does. If you didn't recognize it, that just means she's doing her great job as a voice actress. So
and that just makes me love it even more. I'm like, oh my god, that's one of my favorite voice actresses of all time, and she just kills it.
Like, I don't know voice actresses that well. I just know that eventually I'll recognize one of them, just somehow from character, not by actor.
Kanahazawa was my number 2. My number 1, I'll never not recognize Ryu Kugamiya. But anyways. Not to keep going on with that, we'll discuss this at a later time once
we finally get fully in depth.
Once more characters have been developed more.
I'd say Shirase. What's the voice actress for her?
Kanazawa for Shirase.
Kanazawa for Shirase. It's definitely gonna. Episode 6 will definitely bump her up just slightly, but definitely, she's definitely gonna be above Mari. The girl who's just bubbly and all that.
Everyone's above Mari, though.
She definitely should be above her. So, what you speak of is her.
She's the comedic relief right now.
Yeah.
But anyways, so I think that's tying up our watching. Quite a nice, chunky, thick segment there.
So
let's get a little
tradition. We gotta get it in.
Clank.
All right.
And now let's jump in. So now we are at video games.
Playing. So Sean, would you like to start this off? Since
so yeah, I'll start.
I've got a little long of a list.
I have a nice thick one here.
Oh, you have a thick one, eh?
So let me just mention first. We've got a new picture. We're testing new pictures now. Make it a little bit more interesting. So now we've got the good old Kimono Friends
with talking. I think the Anjanath.
Yeah, from Monster Hunter.
Yeah. So I'm a huge Monster Hunter fan.
Got a little crossover here.
I came in late to the Monster Hunter train. but
I'm still not even in there, but I will be in there once PC releases. But anyways,
you'll be happy.
Going into something that I have played, rather something I haven't. So this is gonna be my biggest segment here. I'm gonna go off for a minute.
Oh shit!
Final Fantasy Type 0 HD. So this game gave me a lot of different feels and thoughts.
I can't make any comment here because I've never played it, never touched it.
So I believe it came out maybe 2007 for PSP.
Oh, PSP.
PSP, not even Vita. We're talking some older
shit here. Old school shit. Dude, people don't even remember the PSP, I bet.
Probably not, yeah. So, but it had an HD release on consoles, Xbox One, PS4, and Steam.
Not in Japan. Right?
No, here in the US.
I haven't
and
seen
so
it.
I have played the Steam version now, and I just finished it earlier this week. So a few things to get off here. This is actually the only M-rated Final Fantasy in the entire franchise.
Is there cuck shit?
No cuck shit. But it's dark. Okay. Final Fantasy has never really stepped away from dark themes and things like that.
But they never go too deep in.
But they're always teen rated. But this is the first mature rated Final Fantasy, so, and it's meant to be dark. So
please enlighten me about this.
So one other thing I'll mention, it's in the Nova Crystallis universe, which is the same universe that Final Fantasy 13 and 15 happen in. So it's got some tie-ins with a few similar themes. Okay, excuse me. So anyways, going in here. So Final Fantasy Type 0. So the game, the premise, it's a global arms race between 4 different countries utilizing the crystals. Crystals is, a fairly common theme in Final Fantasy where people get their magic power from crystals. And so each country has a crystal that they utilize their power from. And they're all trying to take over each other using their power in different ways, either via crystal technology or just magic in general. So just starting out, before you even get past the opening credits, one of them is completely wiped out. One of the countries is completely wiped out by essentially a nuclear weapon using crystal energy, a fucking Ultima bomb. Just completely wiped off the face of the continent. It goes dark here. And it also has an opening scene, which is one of the saddest I've ever seen, with a man and his chocobo. But I won't go into that. It was brutally sad. Yeah, it's a strong opening.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say this. I mean, I'm still totally fresh to the Final Fantasy franchise. Like 13 is my first Final Fantasy.
That's a tough place to start.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, go ahead.
But I mean, I went to the orchestra with you, and they tell me they have so many fucking chocobo themes. Like the conductor straight up tells you, we have so many chocobo themes, and this time we're gonna play you this one.
Yeah, so, chocobos are such a staple of the Final Fantasy series.
Even I recognize it.
But the opening, just the first 5 minutes could probably bring a tear to your eye, even if you don't know shit about Final Fantasy, because it was so fucking brutal and sad with how it happened. But it started off really strong, and it kept it through the whole thing. So the whole main story goal is that you're helping in a war effort to steer the war in your favor. Obviously, your main class is Type 0, Class 0, where you control you have 14 different characters that you can control, who all have really strong personalities and everything like that. One thing that Nomura, Tabata, did with Type 0 was that he wanted Class 0 to feel like one character, but at the same time he wanted it to be like if any one of Class 0, the characters, were by themselves, they would feel like a very strong individual protagonist. And he actually pulled it off really well, which every character feels like a protagonist, even though they're all kind of together in it. It's a very tight-knit unit.
Okay.
Really though, so you're helping this war effort, but that's 90% of the game, and then the last 10% you figure out that's just a drop in the bucket.
Yikes.
In which the events that you're playing through have happened over 600 million times.
I'm sorry, what?
So this whole timeline has happened 600 million times,
So it's in
slightly differently. It is in a loop, but for a certain reason. So a deity has given power to two individuals who are trying to open the gates of Etro, which is basically the underworld, to get inside there because they want the power that's inside there, essentially. And one of those characters is one that you're very close with. Your Class 0 thinks of her as their mother because she's very close with them. She essentially is trying to get them into the gates of Etro, but you don't know that until the end. So each time she calls it an experiment. Each time this experiment fails, she restarts the timeline and goes again.
How does she restart the timeline?
So she was given power by a deity to do this. She's the one who put the crystals on the world to give it magic power. She's very powerful. But these the Class 0, they're handpicked by her a long time ago, like hundreds of millions of experiments ago. They're the most adept magic users on the entire world.
No one can ever compare. Basically.
Exactly.
So even if they fail, they're still too good to pass up, basically. Right?
Basically, yeah. She always uses them, and she changes little things each time to try to change the outcome.
Oh, fuck. So you fail in these.
Every single time has failed 600 million times. But the last one that you're playing through, your timeline, is the one that diverges and kind of has a full ending instead of resetting. So what happens is eventually, once these countries are warring towards the end, a phenomenon called Tempus Finis comes, which is essentially the end times where the gates of Etro are close to opening, but they have to pick who is worthy of going in there. And usually what happens is Class 0 chooses to inherit the power of the gods to try to break in there. But in your timeline, the good ending, essentially, you refuse to take the gods' power and you stay as mortals and try to fight through it as mortals.
So the hero's journey is true.
Exactly, yeah. And it was such a good story with that whole thing. And you fight through essentially like these gods as Class 0, and you all just lose your souls one by one fighting to the death, essentially.
Oh my god.
They don't completely die until the very end. Now, the ending here, huge spoilers.
That's fine. I'm never gonna play it. It's PFP.
You'll have to watch the ending cutscene though. I'll have to show it to you because it's so...
I will watch it.
Because it gave me a lot of different vibes. So it gave me the biggest though, a K-On! Vibe. Now you might say this is a whole war thing.
What? How did it give you a K-On! Vibe?
Now hear me out. So at the end, after you've chosen to stay as mortals, the class's mother, who they think is a mother, they essentially, she goes and she listens to their souls and hears what they think. And they all talk to her, saying, they love her. They actually love her a lot as a mother, and that they don't want to be reborn again and redo the cycle, and they want to die as mortals. And she listens to their requests and lets them do that. And some other stuff happens.
Because she has this power to fucking reset it.
Exactly. But then she decides not to reset it. And to stop doing what she's doing and try to get to the gates of Etro. For her children, essentially. And then the ending cutscene, you see Class 0, they're in their classroom, because they do actually have classes and stuff, like a full school. Like they're children, essentially. They're like anywhere between 16 to 18.
Okay.
And they're in their classroom. The classroom's fully destroyed, but they're all together there, with limited time to live. And okay, so
go on. You need to pull your notes. You need to pull your notes, man. Pull yourself together, man.
Aki Toyosaki, Yui,
oh
and K-On!,
shit!
She starts bawling. She starts crying on the floor in a classroom, just like the ending of K-On!, because they all feel like they're gonna separate, just like K-On!.
Like the band's over.
But in this case, it's their fucking lives. They know they're gonna die soon, and she's on the floor crying, and then they all come around her, all the other 12, and they all come and sit on the floor with her to console her, and then they all start talking about what would it be like if they could live further and live a full life together, and all the things that they would do together.
So they go all in depth, all crying basically
on the floor in this classroom, with Yui being the starter of this whole thing and talking about it, and it gave me this real K-On! Vibe about the ending of their school year.
Okay, I'll give you that much.
And it just made me tear up. I was like, oh my god.
And this is the cutscene you want to show me?
Yes.
You better get some subtitles on there.
Yes, yeah, I will. But that gave me such vibes like that, and oh god, it was just so good. It just made me tear up.
I have to take your word for it, because I told you before.
You may not feel the feels the same as me.
Is my fetish, so
you may not feel the same feels as me because you kind of develop with these characters.
Them, yeah.
But it was just such a strong cutscene at the end.
If they pull it off well, then I probably definitely will like it.
Yeah, but that's what it gave me vibes of. And so, as I've gone off about long enough on Type 0, let me just do a real quick review. So, characters. All the characters are amazing. Again, all 14 characters could stand as their own protagonists, even though they all are like one unit.
They all kind of I mean, okay, so they're all in a party, basically.
They're
right?
all in a party, but you get to play them individually, and they all have strong personalities where any one of them could be a protagonist for the whole game. And let me just say, this game has a fucking all-star voice cast. Probably the biggest, strongest voice cast for any game I've ever seen.
Oh.
Ever.
Ever.
Let me say, you've got Kana Hanazawa, who we just mentioned.
And can you give me a role? Just so I can... Give me something that I know.
I mean, you've got Shirase from, A Place Further Than the Universe.
Okay.
I mean, she's been in so much stuff.
Oh my fucking god.
She has the fattest...
So,
the juiciest, fattest,
for our viewers,
resume.
You're not seeing this, but, we're probably, like, scrolling the scroll wheel 30 times, and we haven't even reached the middle.
She's easily done... Okay, Akane from Psycho-Pass.
Okay, there you go. There you go.
She's easily done, like, over 200 roles in her career.
That looks like 300 to me.
It's probably over 300 even, yeah. She's big time.
Oh my god.
She's a big time.
And that's not even including movies, right?
Yeah, that's
all movies?
That's just anime. That's not including games and other things that she's done. Big time voice actress. Kana Hanazawa. She's huge.
Fucking huge.
Miyuki Sawashiro. You've got like Kurapika from Hunter x Hunter,
Okay.
And other big things.
Alright.
Big time voice actress.
I'm a huge fan of
AAA.
We're a huge fan of Hunter x Hunter.
Yeah.
And you telling me, and this is just the Japanese dub. So
oh yeah, I'm not done yet here, so let me keep going.
It is high. It is high cast.
Ami Koshimizu, which was like Ryuko from Kill la Kill. Holo from Spice and Wolf.
Oh,
that voice actress.
Okay.
You've got Aki Toyosaki, Yui from K-On! You've got Minori Chihara, Nagato from Haruhi, Yuki Nagato. You've got Atsuko Tanaka. You've got Caster from Fate Stay Night. You've got Major from Ghost in the Shell.
She played Major?
Major, yeah. You've got Marina Inoue. She does a lot of things. You got Yoko from Gurren Lagann. You've got Armin from Attack on Titan.
Okay.
Or Momo from Boku no Hero Academia.
Okay, alright. I don't like Armin. I don't like Attack on Titan. But I mean...
But yeah, Marina Inoue, she's a big time name as well. I think she might also even be in... Oh no, she wasn't. But anyways, Ria Tanaka, fucking Neptune from Hyperdimension Neptunia.
I have 2 games.
Suiginto, I forget what she was from in Suiginto. For some reason I wrote that down, but I forgot which one. Aya Hirano. Fucking Haruhi.
You're right. How many more voice actresses do we have?
Nana Mizuki. You've got An from Persona 5.
I don't know how
And
to fucking get the Japanese thing in there for the actual game.
We'll get it for you. But anyways, in the male cast, I'm not gonna nail them off, but they're just as impressive. You got like Yuki Kaiji, the big names like that. You know, like we're talking like 20 plus voice actors and actresses that are like AAA here. Like, so you're gonna get performances that are like fucking good. Everything just hits you emotionally.
Are they hands down the best? Is this their best performance ever, hands down?
Not in the game itself, but it's solid. You know, it's like you're gonna get good emotional performances for this game.
Okay, this. I'll take your word for it because I already have a tear streaking down my cheek already, and I mean, wow.
Yeah,
these are
it's solid, but
solid.
And these are all like even main characters and even side characters. Like they went all out for everyone. You've got the music by Takeru Ishimoto, who did the Final Fantasy spin-offs like Crisis Core and stuff like that. You've got the Kingdom Hearts spin-offs like Birth by Sleep.
Okay.
The Dissidia games.
I've never played any of the Dissidia games. I have seen a lot. I watched the entire cutscenes for like the movie trailer, movie of Birth by Sleep, which is just cutscenes.
But yeah,
I loved it.
The music, it's like, even though he doesn't do big things, the music was so good. And honestly, at that Final Fantasy orchestra, there's one song that they could have done that would fit so easily, but they probably just didn't do it because Final Fantasy Type 0 is such a smaller game compared to the big boys.
I agree there. I mean,
graphics, I mean, again, it's from a PSP game, and they actually upscaled it and remastered it pretty well. I think
for the PC, right?
Exactly. I think it looks modern, even though it's pretty old, like 10 years old.
Can we take a small break right here? Can you go on Steam and show me the price? You just sold it to me already.
It's $29.99. I already know.
Gift it to me.
I will.
Right now.
If you play it.
Okay. I will. Let me. Okay. After Persona, I will get my own copy for it.
So, anyways, to go on. Gameplay wise, I mentioned the gameplay last cast, but it plays like Vindictus. If you've ever played the MMO Vindictus, plays very similarly.
I did play Vindictus and I love it.
So it plays almost identical to Vindictus.
Never played it all the way. I'm like maybe like a few levels in.
I played it quite a lot, and I like Vindictus. And if you played that game, then you know what you're kind of in for. Except you've got, instead of I think 7 classes which play differently, you've got 14 different characters to pick from.
Differently.
Exactly. So that's
okay,
me for Type 0.
If I do play Type 0, okay, so when you start the game, you pick a character, right?
No, essentially at any point in time you can pick any character to play with at any point.
Tell me which one's Yui. I'm gonna max that out instantly.
Yui
from K-On.
Alright.
Right here.
That's
right in the Kokoro.
Sync. Okay, so every character is named essentially after a deck of cards. So you got Ace, and you got Deuce, you've got Trey instead of Tres, you've got Sync instead of like Cinco or whatever. You have 7, you have 8, 9. They just name them normally. You've got Jack, King, Queen, etc. They're all kind of named after essentially a deck of cards.
So I mean, you know, the thing I kind of hate and love about Final Fantasy, just in general, is that they know how to make the most mundane ass things really interesting. Like, for 13, Snow. You remember who Snow is?
I
love
right? Snow. Yeah.
I hate the name because, Lightning, Snow. What fucking lettuce do you have to smoke to get? Yeah, I think Lightning's a good name. Yeah, I think Snow's a good name, or Hope.
Right.
But they sell them.
They do.
They sell them so well.
Somehow they do, yeah.
And I only played maybe like 4 hours of like Final Fantasy 13, and then I had to give the game back. But they sell it really well, and like you telling me this, I believe you, hands down. I believe that this is the idea. Yeah, let's name them after a deck of cards.
Pretty much.
Done deal.
with a few different languages, thrown in for some of the numbers, like deuce and tre and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. But otherwise they sell it really well. So
is that her? Sync.
That's Yui.
Brunette.
And she uses a fucking hammer. She uses a giant hammer. She's the slowest attacking character in the game.
I'm sold.
It's amazing.
I'm sold. I mean, yeah, I'm a little bit tired too, so I'm kind of yawning in between all this shit. But I mean, I'm sold. Monster Hunter. I play fucking Hornhammer.
If anybody I can get into Type 0, I would love to, because it's such an underrated game. And unfortunately, it's going to forever be known as the game that came with the Final Fantasy 15 demo, and that's how it's going to be known as, because everyone was hyped about 15, and the only way you could get the demo. The MMO? No, 15 was the newest game with the boy band type of look, and everyone wanted 15, and the only way you could get the demo was by buying Final Fantasy Type 0, and it came with it, and that's how it's going to be known as, unfortunately.
Yo, you have me.
All right.
You have me who knows otherwise.
All right, bro.
Yo, I mean, I hate 15. I hate the idea of 15. I hate that Nomura fucking directed that shit. I hate that there is no fucking big story in 15. And you played 15, right?
I haven't yet, but I'm going to be playing it as soon as I get back next month.
Yeah.
And luckily, they have been actually updating it constantly with new stuff, and it actually looks like it's much more complete than what it released with, actual
no DLC
continuity and stuff.
Purchases you have to do?
No, it's gonna have a full complete edition essentially.
Okay, alright.
But anyways,
just give me a little second for here.
Yeah,
I hate 15 for everything it stands for, including the movie.
I can't. Okay.
But
okay,
it's fucking pretty. But I hate everything 15 stands for. But I know better for Type 0 now.
Alright.
It's never gonna be that for me.
Alright, bro. I hope you can love it as much as I did.
You hear me? I'll fight you for this. Fuck 15.
I can't say it yet just because I still have yet to fully play it. And it probably plays nice. I love the music from it. Apocalypse Noctis, and then the melody that's the title intro theme. It actually makes me... I actually teared up just listening to the title theme, even though I don't know shit about 15. It's so beautiful. They played Apocalypse Noctis in the orchestra. They did, yes. It was amazing.
It was they used the fucking backup singers.
Yeah.
For the first time in that song, and there's a few other rules that they have. But for the majority of the whole orchestra, they were just back there, just being pretty, standing there.
The music in that game just seems so nuts. I've teared up just not even playing the game. Anyways, let me go to my last game here.
Go, keep going.
Only one other game. Rabi Ribi.
Ribi.
Short for Rabbit Ribbon, essentially. Because the game is revolved around this main girl who's used to be just a bunny, but now she's actually a bunny girl. For some reason that she can't figure out, that she became a bunny girl. A human, essentially.
Is this a lewd game?
It's fairly lewd, but it's not really trying to be lewd. It's more so cute. It's very cute. It's probably top 3 cutest games I've ever played in my life.
Okay, go on.
And Ribbon is the fairy that follows her around.
That made her into this fucking bunny girl.
No, that she just befriends along the way, essentially. I haven't finished the game yet, so I don't know exactly what's turned her into a human bunny girl. But she originally was just literally a rabbit, a bunny. And what this game is it's a Metroidvania. So you've got your standard platformer, kind of get powers. You can get further through the maps and stuff like that.
All right.
But the bosses play like Toho, and they have fucking attacks taken straight from Toho. It literally, some of the fights look like you're playing Toho.
Yo, you know me. I've complained about bullet hells because Nier. I mean, I can't play Nier sober. I'm telling you straight up, I can't. I never will. But I need to get past that game.
We're gonna get through it one day.
Fucked me with the bullet hell. That's the reason why I can't play that game sober.
That game, it's actually given me so I only started playing it 2 days ago, but I fucking love it. It's so, again, it's adorable. Fucking cutest game ever.
And it's Toho ass.
And then at the same time, you get the fucking brutal ass boss bullet hell stuff going on, which gives it that really intense feeling.
Okay.
I still have not died once, but I think 7 bosses now. I've actually been down to like literally 1 health, and I've actually lived through everything.
Do you have lives?
You have health.
So just health, and you can gain it back, right?
You can gain it back through items and save points and stuff like that. But every fight, my last 7 boss fights have all been so down to the wire that I've been 1 hit away from death, but I clutch it out like crazy, and it feels so good.
It's the only way we can play. Like, we are not alive unless we do this.
Every single time, it's like I'm down to 1 hit, and I fucking clutch it out, and it feels so good. Like, that game is very, very well done. I think the boss is super well done. Again, it's literally like Toho on 2D platformer. That they fucked. 2D platformer, Metroidvania, and Toho had a nice baby, and this would be a baby.
Okay. I mean, I probably need to see this later, just because, it's another game you just totally sold me on, and I played Toho. And, Toho fucked me over so hard.
Actually, the artist for that game was at Anime Expo 2 years ago. I didn't really know much about the game at that point. Yeah, it was from Sekai Project.
I heard of him.
The artist was there, and he was doing live drawings and everything for people's signboards. And I wish I had gotten one. It was a big line, but I probably should have gotten one anyways, because his art is very cute. It's so adorable.
I mean, he probably does it really fast. But
he does it fast, but it looks nice. And I remember seeing some people's signboards and everything, and he was there at the event. And he was just doing live drawings and everything. And I wish I got one now after I played the game, because I love the art in it. It's so clean, so nice and cute.
It ain't like 2 years back for me for Anime Expo where like you had this great artist drawing on a fucking big huge projector at the 21 Over Lounge.
Yeah, I was there.
You were there. You were there.
The lewd ass drawings right up on the board. Yeah.
It started out with phallic ass penis, the most detail I've ever seen in a 2D penis. And then he fucking cleans that off and starts drawing some girl's spread eagle, man.
I remember the spreading. I think I have a picture of that somewhere. But,
I have it too.
Yeah.
And,
but anyways,
Rabi Ribi.
I'll show you later, but it's a beautiful game.
Okay.
But anyways, yeah, go on with your games, because I've gone on much too long for mine.
Let me get through some of the games I've always bitched at. So
Destiny.
Yeah, Destiny. There's an event right now happening. I don't know if it's still going on, but since last time I played, Iron Banner, the most cancer-inducing, ulcer-inducing mode ever. And I'll explain a little bit. PvP has always had like a few modes you could have. You'd have crests, which is like you kill them, they drop a crest, you grab it, you get killed, your crest drops, and your teammate can grab it to basically deny them the point, or the enemy will grab it and they'll grab your point basically. And that's how you basically play the mode. There's Slayer basically. You get a kill, that's your point. No complexity in that. Territory, which I fucking hate. I mean, it's not a bad mode if you know how to play it, and like you're playing with just a bunch of regular normie people. But Trials of the Nine is all just basically territory. Like, hands down, you're always gonna have to hold 2 points. 2 out of 3 points you have to hold. I hate territory, which is why it's really hard to play Trials of the Nine if you're not playing with either a very, very trusted group that, like, if it's not your guildmates, or if you're not fucking, what's it called, hiring carries, Trials of the Nine is not for you. You're not gonna have a good time, and I mean, you have to have 4 people anyway. But this is Iron Banner, which is baby version of Trials of the Nine, and it's the same bullshit, man. Like, I can't. Okay, so you remember Capture the Flag, basically?
Of course.
In Halo? Yeah, think about that, and just everyone is so try-hard. That is Iron Banner. I have no idea why people are so try-hard. I have lost more times in Iron Banner than I have won. Ever. Like, hands down. In my entire PvP thing, I've always it's always been like a good steady 8 out of 10 games I would probably win. Iron Banner totally makes that loss 10 out of 0. I've always lost.
So you think it's a good addition, or if it's
no
cancer?
It's total fucking ulcer inducing, man. Like you want to have a bad day for like a week, go to Iron Banner, play that shit for 4 hours, and actually not even 4 hours. 4 hours, that's your entire life. Your entire life is over.
You're done.
You're just anally fucking angry forever. I played that for 1 hour, and it's not even worth the gear, man. Like you get Iron Banner tokens that you use to basically get Iron Banner gear-esque shit. It's not worth it, man. Like you just are so mad, like for the entire day, for the entire week, the month. Like I got lucky that I was only mad for like the briefest day.
Damn.
And like it's just total cancer, man. So next game, Ark. So I decided to play Ark with a few friends of mine, and I was playing on a nice server. You know, I had the game installed that day. I was playing with DJ and Pablo. Later that day, some weird shit happened, where I got a blue screen. My computer restarted, and when I go to my Steam games, Ark was uninstalled. So that's a sign, man. Something tells me I shouldn't play Ark. Some divine being is telling me not to play Ark. I will anyways.
I literally looked at Ark for the first time yesterday when Pablo showed it to me. I had never seen it in my life, and he showed it to me. It looks okay, but
I'd rather play Rust.
I'm not willing to pay like $120 or whatever it's gonna cost just to get into that game with the game and expansions.
Oh shit! Yeah, you're right. There are expansions. I mean, I got it on a decent sale,
right?
And even then, I don't have any of the DLC. I won't get into it if it's just for that. But me and my friends are playing it just with regular game with a few mods, which is why I kind of like it. There's mod support. But the weirdest thing is that it totally uninstalled from my game. Like, blue screen, restarting computer. Like, it's telling me something happened to your computer, we're gonna restart it.
Right.
And bam, it's gone. Uninstalled. Like, it tripped me the fuck out, man. Like, I can't even explain it. But I think some divine power is telling me I shouldn't. But I probably will just every once in a blue moon with my friends, because they like it, and I want to get more involved with them.
It looks decent. Really, it's kind of just like a more advanced dinosaur Minecraft.
Basically, it's thank you, dinosaur Minecraft. Basically,
pretty much.
I consider it Rust a better game because Rust has so much funnier shit, and it puts the emphasis on like building.
Right.
Whereas this. You have levels and shit.
I definitely prefer building. I definitely went full autist in Minecraft and made the nuttiest buildings. I made a full outside castle which had a full underground castle underwater, and it was actually fucking sick.
Yeah, on that note, I'll just give the briefest thing. So, a few years back, I had a whole Minecraft thing happening with a few friends of mine. We had our own server.
Right.
We were dedicated to try to get to the end game of Minecraft. We had this one friend named Chaz who was his entire goal just left our group to do his own shit. And he just explicitly every hour or so came in, yeah, I'm gonna fuck your guys' game up. And we didn't know how he'd do it. We just knew he was gonna do it with dynamite.
Dynamite's pretty brutal.
And we're playing it one life, so like, one of us dies, it's game over. So we prayed to the gods, and this was like a 2 or 3 day session. On the third day, Chad showed on our screen our chat log. This player has died. Who was Chad, basically. I don't remember the name he used, but Chad died, and we're totally like, holy shit, it's over. And he's like, comes in, he's like, oh yeah, so there's a bunch of there's a hidden room underneath your place that's full of dynamite, and I was almost complete to filling it up. So yeah, have fun trying to find it. To this day, we can't find it.
Goddamn.
We don't know how he farmed creepers. Where he farmed creepers, we just know we're literally on a mountain that can blow up at any moment.
I can tell you, dynamite is nuts. I eventually had made something, and then I decided to destroy it with about 200 dynamite. And I literally made a hole so big it glitched out the game.
I've seen that shit happen.
It bugged out, and it was just over from that point.
For Minecraft is one of those games you could run easily, but for shit like that, it can break your game. Yeah, it can break your computer.
I love Minecraft just because I love building stuff, and I love going for like 10 hours straight just building some kind of insane structure. And I did that, and I made some of the biggest, craziest things.
I never went that deep into it, but I had fun making my ivory tower, basically, and which had this flaming eye of Sauron thing going on. So I loved that, and this was solo.
I'll tell you what I did is, like, one point in time, probably 2013, I took an entire Minecraft map. I got it brand new, and I decided to level out the entire field so I could build whatever I wanted on it.
Oh god. And
I was watching Rurouni Kenshin during the time. So that's like 112 episodes, something like that.
Before it was impure.
And so I was playing Minecraft, watching Rurouni Kenshin, binging it. And I finished the entirety of Rurouni Kenshin while I was literally just leveling out this field. And I think that field was I think I had counted it because I used to put blocks every 10 squares. So I knew exactly how wide it was. I had some old pictures of it somewhere. And it was something like 800 by 800 squares flat from like mountains. Like I took down mountains to just a flat plane and started building on it. Finished the entirety of Rurouni Kenshin during that time.
I think that's the only way to play Minecraft if you're going to do something of that scale.
Yeah.
The reason I couldn't is because I always played it in like hardcore mode, so I'd have one life. So
I think I was playing before that even existed. That was the thing.
I got into Minecraft late, but it was still beta. You had to before the official game came out, so I got it on a good sale. But yeah, Ark is a different beast, but it's basically kind of like that.
Right. Yeah.
All right. So on that same day, I gotta say of the whole Ark issue. DJ did save my ass on a game that you've probably heard of, Evil Within 2.
Heard of it. I never played it.
So it's a Bethesda game, I'm assuming, right? Okay.
So wait. You agree? Go ahead, but yeah.
Can you look that up for
a I'll check it, but go ahead.
Alright, so Evil Within 2, I got it on Steam, Bethesda.
They're the publisher, but Tango Gameworks as the developer.
Okay. Alright. Barely. Alright. So, I'll still blame Bethesda over Tango Games. So, I got that game on sale, and even then, I probably would have gotten it full price. Because my brother told me that it's such a great game, and he played it on Xbox One. So, I get it for PC, and I started up. Laggiest shit I've ever had. Like, you couldn't even go on the menu. Like, you could get on the menu, but when you'd switch off, it'd be like slowly stuttering out, and it'd take you like 5 seconds for you go to options, it'll move you to the option section in 5 seconds, stuttering the entire time. Like I hated it. I turned it off. And that day we were playing Ark. I was trying to figure out how to fix that too, because I thought, okay, I have to move it towards the freaking SSD, basically, my main memory.
Right.
That didn't fix it, and DJ was like, okay, I think I have an idea. Fixes it with a graphics card. It was running on my built-in graphics card, not the freaking NVIDIA one.
Yeah.
And that pissed me off. It was such a simple fix because, like, Dark Souls had the same issue, Dark Souls 3, and I fixed it, but I didn't figure it out either. Like, I totally forgot that was a thing.
Right. And
it just did it automatically because, like, there are videos where they're like, oh yeah, people are playing with the graphics card you're using, and they have no problem with it. I don't know what's going on with yours. So people didn't know how to answer my questions. So the troubleshooting was so fucking difficult, but I have it. and I haven't played it yet. I was just done with it for that day. But I mean, it's fixed. I'm happy for it.
I feel it.
You know, and I only played like 5 minutes of it just to see if it worked. So,
right.
Hey, I'm just saying it was good.
All right. Anything else?
All right. So Hearthstone.
Don't even.
I'll briefly mention this.
Just briefly.
Hunters. You know hunters, right? You know how they play?
Yeah. Aggressive,
fast. Monsters, right?
Uh-huh.
Not the person I was playing, man. All spells. This meta, spell hunter the thing. Like, even I didn't know how to react.
Sounds gross.
It was disgusting, and I just couldn't deal with it, man. I was using like the deck I usually go against with you, the fun deck, and I was holding off on my own, but I was just like, what the fuck am I running up against? And it's just tough. He's slowly whittling me down, and I can't really respond to him.
I mean, honestly, Hunter spells are really strong.
Oh, it gets even worse for the fucking expansion.
You got an Arcane Shot, you got Beast Command, or Kill Command, you got, your summoning stuff, Hunter's Mark, all that kind of stuff. You got strong shit, you got good traps.
Well, it gets fucking cancerous.
I don't even know what the new stuff is. I'm talking about like 2015 shit, 2014 stuff, yeah.
With news, I'm telling you straight up, it was all spells, and they all, he had a card that just slapped it down. He had no monsters in his deck, and if you have no monsters, you get more spells.
Damn.
It was disgusting, man. And I thought copy priests were fucking cancer. No. Spell hunter is totally on a different level, man. And that's just if I can find the deck list for that, I want to deconstruct it so that I can figure out how to beat it with my deck.
Yeah.
I just can't, man. So that's all I have for Hearthstone.
Okay.
Anything else for video games? I'll finish off. I have 3 games technically. Shadow of the Colossus remake. I got the feels on for that game, and seeing it in HD is beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
I tried to stream it. It didn't work out so well with me, so whatever. But it's such an impactful game. I played this game 4 or 5 years back. Not even back when it came out. 4 or 5 years back.
Right.
My friend told me, Adam told me, yo, I found the game. He's like, oh, you have Shadow of the Colossus. He's like, yeah. Have you played it? No. Sit your ass down. And I sat my ass down, and I'm just I'll probably play it for a little bit, and I just got into it. I got sapped.
Yeah.
And I got sucked into that game, and playing the HD, playing on hardcore mode. Once those kids are out, school day, Friday. Once they go to school, I'm gonna stream that shit. I have a 3-hour, 4-hour period.
Nice.
So I need to get that thing done, and I will. I'll stream that shit.
I'll be watching.
All right, Persona 5, and this is today.
So how much further did you get?
I skipped the day that I told you about that I was I'm gonna level grind. No, I decided to leave, and it turns out you can go back in before sending the calling card. So
you can.
Whew, thank goodness. So I was decided to level grind Arsene, your Persona, from level 1 to level 7. I didn't, and the power went out. I did not save that entire thing.
Oh no.
So 2 hours of hard work were gone. Well, not even 2 hours, but close.
Just don't. Alright. I'm going to be real here. It's going to break your heart.
He's not
Don't keep Arsene. He's trash. But you'll see him again. If you get rid of him, you'll see him again. He'll come back.
Be stronger? Or
he'll come back.
Level 1?
No, he'll come back, and you'll have feels for him. But it'll be much later. 80 hours later. He'll come back to you. He'll come back to you. Because he's your persona.
But will he be stronger?
Don't even worry about it.
I'm worried about it.
Trust me. Just trust me on that. Don't worry about leveling him. Just, if you're going to pick personas, use the strongest personas at that time and roll with them.
Okay.
Don't worry about leveling them, because they don't level as fast as your player characters, so they always fall behind no matter what.
Yeah, no, that's for sure. I mean, just trying to level them up so I can get to the 15. Like I that entire time he leveled up faster than I could get to level like 11 or 12.
Just keep your player characters up, but don't bother with the personas, because every single dungeon you'll be able to use new persona that are way better.
Oh, anyways, I know that, but I mean, like almost 2 hours of my hard work.
I know it's arson. That sucks though.
I know it's arson, and I'm trying to get to level my characters, all my group, to level 15.
Yeah.
So I can fight Kamoshida and all that shit. But arson was just like, you know, I have a soft spot for you. I'll level you up too while I'm at it. And yeah, no, I'm gonna have to restart that shit again.
Next time you do it, just go straight into Kamoshida.
All right.
You'll be able to fight him.
Now my best game, Monster Hunter Worlds. Hands down, the only game I'll recommend. Let me check my recommendations. Nope. It's a different game.
Yep.
But I mean, I'll recommend that shit right now. I'm telling you. You'll have a blast, especially if you have people there. Once you have beat the entire game already, like 2 days ago. But I decided to do an adventure quest, man. Drug quest. I'm farming so much demon drug. I'm almost gonna be a peddler, man. So like, demon drug is basically like this potion that you drink and you get your strength increased.
Right.
And I play Hunter Horn, so I get more buffs. So I just like you do blunt damage, so it's a heavy hitting hammer weapon kind of thing. Except you have an added bonus of like casting buffs. So like reduce damage, elemental resistance, environment resistance, all this other shit. Increase damage, and that's just all I do. I can almost solo things, but I've been trying to get all the drugs, man. All the fucking drugs.
I will play that game, but I'm gonna wait till PC release, because I have a friend who only has PC that I want to play with, and so I'm waiting for him. So unfortunately, I think that's like 6 months down the line, but I will play it, and then I will report my experiences whenever I do.
So that finishes my freaking playing.
All right,
and you finished. We already started, so let's get the beers.
Let's get the beers. Let's do a little
clink.
And now let's get into reading. So usually our shortest section.
And you've been reading the wikis.
All right, so let me just. It'll be real quick. So again, like I said, I obviously as I went in for like 15 minutes, finished Type 0. So the game has an in-game library where you slowly unlock different information about events that are happening at the same time as the game, or they even happened in the past, or different information about characters. I had grinded for a long time in that game, and so I unlocked a lot of stuff. I was reading that shit for hours between each individual characters. You even unlock different cutscenes that you can read in the game, and then after I beat the game, I probably spent a good 5-6 hours reading the Final Fantasy Wikia about various things in the Type 0 universe, between different characters, between different events, all this shit. I was on the Final Fantasy Wikia until like 3 a.m. on a work night, just fucking binging on reading all this different things. Just
I don't need
going
sleep.
crazy.
I need answers.
I was like, exactly. I was like, I need to know more.
I feel you. Spiritually, I can feel you for that.
I was just binging on it. I was like, I need to know more. Like, what did this character? What did they do? How did they fit into the story? It's like, what was their past? All this stuff, and I was just going crazy on it for hours and hours.
I can't remember what I was so fucking hopped up on to do that shit, but I bet it was something .hack related, because I love the franchise, hands down. It's such a game that hits me here, even though the hack sign is the worst fucking thing ever. I still love it.
Right.
But I mean,
so
need to know.
That game hit me up. I was just so interested to know. Even after I beat the game, I was like, I just want to know more. Is I still had questions unanswered, and I was like, I want to know more.
With the wiki.
And the wiki will definitely answer everything. And if you grinded everything in the game and you read the wiki, you'll get all the answers, but you need to do some extra homework,
So it's like Dark Souls, where it gives you just enough to think of your own ideas.
And then if you want to get deeper in there, you go read about every single little detail, and you can get the whole story essentially.
Okay.
And that's what I was doing, and that's how I got the full story there. And so based on how many times the events transpired, I said over 600 million, and how many people died in the game. The total death count for that game is a little bit over 500 quadrillion.
Because there's like 20 people.
It's quite a big death count. Theoretically. Well, technically that happened because some of the characters, the deities, they saw it happen because they're the ones who kept their memories when they reset the timeline. Because
they're always constant.
So the death count in that game, over 500 quadrillion. It's pretty dark.
That's so fucking goddamn meta.
All right. But anyways, yeah. So that's all I had for reading. What do you got, Edwin?
So, our reading segment is technically also listening to because with the
audiobooks and such.
You got, I have YouTube Red, so I can listen to podcasts and shit, which I'm not even gonna mention, but I'm gonna mention spooky stuff. So creepypastas and real life stories and all that shit. So I'll note too, because I have some manga that I want to show off, and one book that's not. It's gonna be the shortest, but I mean, Lazy Masquerade. I got into his real life yandere stories. Like, there are such gnarly stories because it's true that Japan has a societal problem with relationships, and given that, clingy girls are gonna be a thing.
Right.
And so, if you know what yanderes are, which is basically they love you so much that they'll do anything to just have you to themselves, to keep you from being the apple of someone else's eye.
And they won't let you go.
And they'll sometimes, to give you an example, either Mirai Nikki, you have Yunogasai, and I guess for movie-wise, you have, what's that Stephen King movie where the girl breaks your legs? I'm her biggest fan.
I don't know that one.
Hold on. I could probably find it up right now.
Otherwise, you got like School Days.
You got School Days was like...
you got the girl, I forget her name nowadays. It's been so long, but...
they're both fucking yams. So.
Not Sakai, but the other girl. I forget her name, but she's the one who's goes full yandere and just wants to keep the main character for herself. And she'll do anything to keep his love.
Yeah.
Including, spoilers, cutting off his head and going out on her family's boat.
Misery.
And keeping the head with her.
Alright, so the Hollywood reference I'm trying to make is Misery, a Stephen King movie.
Okay.
Where, basically, this girl is this novelist has this one fan who's like, oh yeah, I'm your biggest fan and all this shit. Kidnaps him and, like, have them tied down to his house, and he somehow, like, almost escapes, and, like, she catches him again, and, like, when he wakes up, there's a board between his legs, and she's like, there's literally a wooden plank board kind of thing, and she's like, have the hammer, she's like, I love you so much that I want you to run away and shit. Breaks his fucking knees, like, his ankles, just smashes the fucking sledgehammer.
I've seen clips from that.
It's pop culture, man.
I've seen clips from it now. Now that you mentioned that exact scene, I know exactly what you're talking about, and
yeah, that kind of shit is
you're talking about crazy bitches like that.
Crazy bitches like that, and they're just these real life yandere stories aren't that over the top, but they're just like a step below that. And that's pretty high up there.
That's pretty believable.
That's pretty believable, man. And I love it. Like, these stories, like, it gives you that good horror vibe. And I'm a horror fan. And I have a lot of opportunities at work to just listen to podcasts and horror stories. So, Lazy Masquerade, if you guys ever have an opportunity, look him up. He's a good shot. Another one is B-Busta, who was listening to one of his stories called The Left Right Game. Sparkness of that story is this game you have to play on a vehicle. Mm-hmm. So the idea is you're supposed to travel on the road when you start, and you have to take a left, then a right, and then a left, and a right, and just continue that cycle. And while following these special rules that, like, apparently it's posted on a board, and then, like, all this other shit happens. So you have this journalist who's following along, this, like, kind of ghost hunter character who's, like, this retired, like, veteran who has been divorced 4 times. So, like, you just follow these characters. Like, there's, like, 4 trucks, like, probably 6 or 8 people who are involved in this whole game. And, it just builds that tension where the game feels like it's believable, and slowly they're getting warped into this whole fucking, like, Shadow Realm kind of thing. Like, they're still on the road, but if you fuck up once in the game after a certain point, it's game over. Like, terrible shit happens to the people that are there. And, you know, it basically was, like, good 6 hours well spent at my job listening to that.
Okay.
So, I recommend that, and I mean, B-Busta has a bunch of other videos.
Right.
That's be.busta, B-U-S-T-A.
Yeah.
I recommend it. Manga-wise, Vinland Saga.
Okay.
So, thanks to Sean, he introduced me to Vinland Saga 2 years back.
Yeah, I see my book up on the wall there, but...
I see it right. Yeah, by
the one
Makoto
that you borrowed?
Yukimura.
Yep.
Literally that same day, and they gave it back.
Yeah.
2 days later, before the con.
Yeah.
Binged the fuck out of it. I loved it. But right now, you and I both know. I think you know that Sorkel's a changed man, right? He's basically.
I haven't read that much, honestly. Basically, what's in that volume is about all I've read, so it's not too much. It's probably maybe 10 chapters at the most.
So I'm in chapter 141 to 146. So that's what I read today. So I'm caught up now. There's a bunch of new characters that I don't want to go into detail that'll spoil you. But Jomsborg, you remember Sorkel the Tall, right? So I mean, Thorfinn is the main character.
So I haven't read it since like 2014. So
I could give you the best description of him.
I'm pretty far behind that.
Remember the fighting bro dude who's like tall, have this fucking like guileless hair, and he's like he holds 2 axes. Like
no,
he's beefy.
I need to reread from the beginning. Honestly, okay. So I'll do that sometime.
That guy's my favorite character.
Okay.
Like, because he's such a bro about everything, but he'll murder you without a second thought if you piss him off, or he'll like do something to you that like you'll be spinning and seeing like fucking stars everywhere. So like, he's such a cool character, and like. He's the only character that survived this far.
All right.
And he's still alive. Like, you know, I'm just saying, that shit says a lot. But, it's basically his little troupe of fucking fighters versus Jomsborg. Which, you know, I don't want to say if that they're historically, like, an actual, like, Viking kind of warrior group. But if they, you know, knowing the author, he gets as pinpoint with his history as he can while making the story a fictional thing. Yeah, they're fucking brutal. It's a fucking brutal ass war. People are dying left and right, and the author just gives just enough details to make you like these characters. Like the funniest thing that there's a lot of comedy, and it's dark comedy. So one of these guys is like, you know, he's on the Jomsborg side, and like he sees his cousin. He's like, "Yo, cousin, fucking," or no, his brother or cousin. He's like, "Yo, cousin, I'm here. He's fucking lefty, man. I'm here." And he's like, "Dude," like his bro's like next to him. He's like, "Dude, you're fucking fighting in a war. It doesn't matter, man. You're gonna have to kill him." He's like, "Dude, no. If I can get his attention, he'll fucking say hi to me. Let's listen, arrow with his like fucking insignia ring." I think fucking hits his cousin / brother or something in the fucking head. He crops down, and the guy's like totally bewildered, and everyone laughs at him basically. And he's like, "Oh, okay, well, it's a war. It happened." And then he gets fucking killed that next page because, like, you know, people just die. Like, it just shows you the casualties of war. Like, you can die,
right?
And like all that shit. But the humor in it is fucking dark and hilarious, and I love it. So, that's that. Now this next one, we both know and love.
Okay.
I'm assuming Berserk.
We know it. Do we love it though?
The manga or the anime?
Both. Well, I guess it's the manga. It's like I guess it's a love-hate relationship, right?
It's like I'm a huge fan of.
It's like
Berserk.
I guess it's one of those things. It's like if you had read it all the way through from the beginning, you love it. But if you've been reading it and you're keeping up with it, you hate it because
it's changed definitely from what it was.
Because sure. It's changed and because you have to wait so long for every single chapter.
All right, so yeah, just all right. Give you a little brief thing. The author of Berserk loves taking his fucking breaks, and like not 3 months break, not 6 months breaks, almost a year-long break
before you get a new chapter. You see a chapter, and then you may not even know if you're going to get another chapter for a full year.
I think this has been going on since the 2000s, maybe the late 90s.
Probably, yeah.
Probably that. And you know, right now we're in chapter 353.
I think it's something like the boat arc. You know, everyone's
it's not
thing.
No, they made it to Fairy Island.
I know they did make it, but I'm saying the boat arc lasted how many years? It lasted like what, 8 years, something like that, in real time.
Yeah, in our time, it took so long for that entire arc to finish.
It took like almost a decade to go through, but in the context of the chapters, it's pretty short, right?
Did you tell me? Were you the one that told me that like the creator of Berserk was like took a break for Idolmaster? No, not even Idolmaster. Love Live.
I don't remember which one was which, but I believe it's Togashi, the artist of Hunter x Hunter and Yu Yu Hakusho.
Oh.
He's the one who takes breaks for Idolmaster for sure.
I thought it was for that's for. Okay, I don't know about Idolmaster, but I know he takes breaks for the fucking new Dragon Quest.
Dragon Quest, yeah.
Okay.
I think they both honestly take breaks for Dragon Quest because they take breaks around the same exact times.
Dragon Quest is a cultural thing in Japan.
And I think one of them might like Love Live and one of them might like Idolmaster more than the other because they seem to take breaks around Dragon Quest time. And then if there's a new Idolmaster, I think Togashi takes a break. And then when there's new Love Live, I don't remember the name of his name, but Berserk artist takes a break. And so it's one of those things, but it's not even for a short period of time. It's months to years.
So you're not even caught up on Berserk or anything?
Oh, not even close. No.
You're not even gonna try?
I'm not gonna read it until it's fucking done, he's dead. Or he's dead.
Good luck. Okay, he'll probably live 20 years from now, and he still won't get a complete thing.
And you know, once he dies, then I'll be like, you know what? I'm gonna watch Berserk.
Yeah. All right.
I'm gonna read Berserk.
All right. So the boat arc is over. They made it to Fairy Island.
They did.
Right now, I call it. They're in the arc where I call it the Mind Break Alley.
Oh god.
So they're gonna fix Casca, man.
Is that good or bad?
Bad. Good, maybe. Bad, probably. Knowing him. So
I like me some Mind Break, but sometimes it's no good.
Well, it'll be spoilers ahead, so you do your thing right now. I'll see you in a second. So Mind Break Alley, for anyone who's gonna be listening. You know, they're gonna magic the fucking shit to bring back original Casca back, not, you know, special needs Casca, which, you know, it sounds terrible the way I'm saying it, but she's totally fucking broken. Like, she's a child, basically, character now. Like, she's a special needs character. She has caregivers to help her out and all that shit. Like, if you leave her for a second, she'll eat fucking pearls or something. Like, because she just doesn't know any better. But back in the day, Casca was a fucking great character. Like, you know, she stood on her own 2 feet. She didn't need no man until Guts came along, and even then, she could do the job without his help and all that shit. She was such a tough as nails character. And then when the whole Eclipse thing happened with Griffith and the whole Band of the Hawk, total destruction there for everyone, and she just got broke. Like, after she got literally raped by Griffith, and like she totally broke. So the entire thing after the point when they get the whole crew to like go on the boat is when they're like heading to the Elf King, Storm King, the Elf Island to meet the Storm King to try to fix Casca. So they've been building up basically 8 years long of suffering for us to try to get to this island in hopes of bringing Casca back. And so now we're getting to that point where they're in her mind. They're trying to like recuperate pieces of her memories, and it's like because dreams work differently. If you remember Bloodborne, think of it that way. It makes it easier to swallow. They're bringing pieces of her into this doll, and once it's all complete, maybe she'll be back. Maybe she's not going to be full retard.
So if this is Bloodborne, how much insight do they got?
Dude, 99 maybe
They're at 99 insight?
99 right. Maybe the cap. It's probably 1,000.
Goddamn.
Like, holy shit. Like, she's so broken, man. I can't go into detail. Like, the amount of shit I just mentioned the brief history of it, but so much happened to make her break. Like, what she went through, her evolution to be this tough as nails character, and then what was totally done to her at the eclipse just shows just how broken she is. And she's totally special needs as of last time. And now they're in Mindbreak Alley, which is basically trying to fix her up and seeing through her memories. They're seeing her memories in her dreams, inside her psyche. So, Mindbreak Alley. That's it. Alright, so I think that might be the last thing. Oh, no. One more. And there's a Hollywood film coming out for this. Ready Player One.
Yeah, okay.
I finished chapter 0 2 days yesterday. I didn't want to get into it because I was like, oh no, I don't want to reread the book before I finish to watch the movie and all that shit. And I'm not gonna give a synopsis for it, but I really enjoyed the build up for chapter 0. Chapter 1 is definitely the most boring thing ever. Like until like near the end when the whole ball gets rolling. Right. But I'm in chapter 0, and I finished it. I'll continue it, and I probably will watch the movie. So now we're done. Now we're done with the reading segment.
I guess that's a
let's
customary clink here.
Let's raise our cups. Glasses.
And now we get into the next section.
And we're drunk enough for this too. The news.
The news.
All right. So, do you want to start off, or should I? You should start off, I think.
All right. I'll bang through these because we've gone long enough for our other things. We've definitely killed
We hit the 2-hour mark.
Yeah, we're going through, so I'm going to bang through these. They're not terribly important. There's not much to go through on here. So Kaz Hirai, the former CEO of Sony, he's stepping down on, I believe, the 1st of March.
Okay.
Mr. Ridge Racer from E3.
I don't even know what Ridge Racer is.
It's a racing game. It was memed to hell and back, but yeah, he's stepping down. So our meme king even has one of the best parody Twitters on all of Twitter for good Sony memes and everything. He's stepping down. So he's out of there from now on. Now there was the game Subnautica, an underwater-like exploration game. Developer was fired for tweeting conservative opinions and quote-unquote offensive jokes. So things like, identifying as an attack helicopter, things like being, towards the right end of the spectrum, fairly offensive, but nothing that would be like straight up like either racist or sexist, things like that, just fairly like memey kind of things.
If I can interject here, I don't approve the actions that they warranted. It's freaking like
it was definitely very virtue signaling, and even the developer, the guy, he thought whenever he's tweeting those, he knew it ahead of time. He thought himself, he was thinking, okay, I think the company will probably kind of, put themselves away from me, saying, these are not our company's thoughts and everything like that, and they'll probably reprimand me behind the scenes. But they went full out, announced that they were firing him and all this stuff, and he felt that was very virtue signaling, and it basically was, you know.
And like, if I can interject here again, people should have people have a right to have their own opinions, and likewise, people have the right to offend other people.
Right.
It's like, that's just, I'm that middle ground.
Yeah.
You can't lean left or right. You have to, can't lose either or. We're in the world where we're stuck in the middle. That's how it should be. No one. People need to have freedom of speech, like, because otherwise, you just have what, like, is happening in North Korea, where no one can fucking speak out,
right,
and all that shit. And we're in a pretty damn good country for that, where we can freely speak and all that shit. But with this whole shit happening, like Subnautica and fucking even Destiny is so left leaning. Like, I kid you not. It's really hard to fucking talk about the game, like,
right,
without like fucking pissing people off. They can't take criticism.
Exactly.
You need criticism to better yourself.
Exactly, and it's just one of those things. It's like the whole firing thing was really just virtue signaling to try to bring in this whole, social justice audience and say, we're above the crowd. We're a better indie studio and all this stuff. And it's just pretty weak-handed and all this stuff. So,
but he's fired.
He's fired. It's pretty sad because he lost his job and all this stuff. Even though it really wasn't even that bad of stuff. It was memey kind of, jokes and stuff like that, and it was fairly just regular conservative opinions.
I mean, well,
but again, the company's studio is based in San Francisco, one of the farthest left-leaning cities in the States.
Most of freaking like Oregon, which can't even fucking pump their own gas.
Yeah, so it's like if it was another state, it may not have happened, but San Francisco, it's like you're pushing on hard grounds there. It's like
you're at the most cancerous place in America.
Pretty much, yeah. You can't be right wing in San Francisco and expect to survive. Pretty much.
LA, it's almost barely passable because it's basically even mixed, and even then they look down on that.
Yeah.
But yeah, San Francisco, I will never go there.
He stood no chance. But
he has such a given this attention he has now, he might have some things happening for him in the future. Yeah. So it's maybe a bad step for him.
Because
but
apparently the game
will come to him.
The game is decent, and everything, and I kind of don't even want to buy it now just because I don't approve. I don't put my money where I don't believe it should be, where I wrongfully believe it should be put. Like developers that practice bad practices and everything like that, I don't put my money there. I just straight don't. I haven't bought an EA game since like 2010. I literally have not put $1 in EA since then.
I'd have to think really hard, but I could probably think of a few EA games.
I actively do not put my money towards developers I don't support, and so for things like that, I keep my money away from stuff like that. I vote with my wallet,
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I don't even remember what's the last EA game I bought, but definitely nothing in the last 2 years. So, and Activision is slowly becoming in that list now.
Yeah. So it's like, if you want to stand up for what you believe in,
vote with your wallet,
in a place in the United States, we're a capitalist environment, vote with your wallet. If you don't support a developer, even if you think that something looks fun, don't buy it. Just fucking pirate it. It's easy to pirate shit, It's like, if you really, really, really want to play it, just pirate it.
I can't support that view, but at the same time,
I only support it just because we live in the country we live in, and there's a lot of things that you shouldn't support just based on, your own views. And
I'm in the middle ground where, like, I could do it without thinking a second thought, but like even then I want to give my support to these people and all that shit. But
I think the same thing, but honestly, I haven't pirated a game since probably around that time, 2010, because I honestly don't do that either. Literally, those games that I don't support the developers of, I just don't buy. I don't play at all. Period.
Which is, I'm the guy that fucking complains about Destiny too, but I knew what I was getting myself into in the first hour.
So yeah. Vote with your wallet, or just vote with your stance on it.
We're capitalists. at core to our values,
and so just don't be stupid with your money. Yeah. If you don't like the practices of a developer, just don't give them money.
It's better not to. I agree.
So, anyways, going away from that, going into something a little different here. Evo 2018. It's in a different time than usual. It's 2 weeks about later than it usually would be, so it's going to be in the first week of August. So Evo 2018.
I thought that was in July.
It used to be in July, so now they're going a little bit further. It's going to be in the first week of August now, so they've kind of pushed it back. The lineup was announced, so let me just announce the games. They have 8 games at Evo 2018. This is the main games. Of course, there are always side games at Evo, but you've got Tekken 7, Smash Wii U,
okay.
Smash Bros. Melee, Street Fighter 5, Guilty Gear XR2,
okay.
BlazBlue Cross Tag Battle, Dragon Ball Fighters, and Injustice 2.
Okay, can you go back to BlazBlue? Does that include Ruby Rose?
That is the new game. So that game is actually not going to be out until I believe April.
But they're advertising it.
But they're still putting it in there, and which is something I want to talk about. So actually, that game, interestingly enough, is going to have the entire main cast of Ruby. So it's going to have Weiss, Ruby, Yang, and
Blake.
Blake, yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm a Yang fan, so that's the only character I'll play. Maybe Ruby. But I'm a Yang fan. I love my blondes. I love that fire in her. I love the fucking hentai.
So all the main Ruby characters are going to be are confirmed to be in the new BlazBlue cross tag.
Not the fucking other groups, just the main girls.
Yeah, just the main girls. The 4 main girls. Which is pretty interesting. They definitely signed a big deal there. Which
is surprising from Rooster Teeth.
It is interesting considering it's not a Japanese title, being in something like BlazBlue with Persona characters in it as well. But so this is something interesting because this game is not going to be out until 2 months before Evo. I believe it's April.
But they get the fucking rights to fucking have it.
Right, so they're going to be a main game at Evo, but Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite that just came out.
Infinite?
I both at the same time, but Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite that just came out last year, very end of last year, is not going to be in the main lineup of Evo.
Good.
That's the first time in I believe 17 years that a Marvel game is not going to be in the main lineup of Evo.
This is the one that isn't popular with any of them, right?
Exactly. It's very underwhelming, poorly received. Some people like it, but it's very bad for a Marvel game. Nowadays, people right now, if you want to play a game like Marvel, you play Dragon Ball Fighters.
Alright.
It plays the exact same, except it's crisp.
Dragon Ball Fighters Z, right?
It has nostalgia to it. It plays the exact same as something like Marvel vs. Capcom. And you get some
fresh flavors with it.
Exactly.
With Majin Girl.
And Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite had such a poor reception, and they just went the full corporate route with Disney and everything.
That's because of Disney.
And people hate it. Exactly.
Lame fucking Disney. Like, Disney is bad news. Like, they're fucking like retconning fucking like Star Wars shit. Not to mention, like you have 2 branches of fucking Marvel. The comic industry, which is working with Disney, and then the Marvel Cinematic Universe, which is its own beast. Which it's going great for them. Going great for them. Don't go for Disney. I hate them.
Yeah. So it's pretty interesting that they actually went through with that, and that Marvel, like you whenever you think of Evo, you think Marvel's gonna be there. It's been there for 2 decades nearly. And it got snubbed. Now there's 3 anime games. You got BlazBlue, Guilty Gear, and Dragon Ball Fighters, all like straight up anime games. And it used to be anime games were the furthest. Actually, it was even Smash games too. So Smash games and anime games were so far cut under at Evo. Like the main Evo crowd hated anime games. They hated Smash games. And
a lot of the people who played Smash just hated fucking anime.
But now the thing is that
they're dirty casuals.
It used to be that there was 0 of those games.
Okay.
Maybe 1. Maybe there was a Guilty Gear at Evo. But now, instead of it being 1 game out of the 8, it's 5 games out of the 8 that are Smash and anime. They're taking over, man. They're the ones coming out with the good games now, and they're killing it. So I'm happy for those games because I actually think they're honestly way more interesting to watch than the standard, games like Tekken's okay, but like Marvel and Street Fighter and those things. So I'm really happy for them. I'm going to be looking forward to watching Evo this year.
All right.
I believe it's August 2nd through 5th. Could be wrong about that. Maybe it's 5th through 8th, but check that out anyways. Root for the boys. It's going to be good.
I never watch Evo or anything, but I'd love to go to Vegas just to get shit-faced drunk.
We'll do that one day, for sure, and we'll have a good time, because Evo is honestly fun as hell to go to, even if you don't like fighting games. It's Vegas, so you'll have a good time regardless.
Yeah, I mean, trust me, I felt bad going to Vegas, holding like 2 beers in public, until I saw some guy carrying two 12-pack in public, over his shoulders, strong, broad shoulders, by the way. And I'm just like, never mind, I'm with my people.
Alright, so my last news segment here, news portion is, so Square Enix has, one of the developers for the Final Fantasy VII Remake has talked to Nomura, saying that Cloud's design is going to be changed for the Final Fantasy VII Remake. And so they haven't showed screenshots, and they've said that they're not going to show screenshots for quite a long time. We're thinking maybe even E3 is when they're going to show screenshots for this. But they've been showing it at an expo in Tokyo at the Roppongi Hills Final Fantasy 30th Anniversary Goodbye Stories exhibit. Now, I am going to Japan next week, and I'll be in Tokyo in about 2 weeks before that expo ends. And I believe I will actually be going to the Roppongi Hills Goodbye Stories exhibit. So I might be able to see if they have the screenshots up of Cloud's new design here at this exhibit. And so I hope to be able to report back after I'm back from Japan in about a month with details about Cloud's new design before, the bigger populace hears about it, and give my own opinions, considering I am a fucking massive Final Fantasy VII fan. So it's been 2 years since they've shown at I believe PlayStation Experience the Final Fantasy VII Remake trailer and everything, and I'm one of the biggest Final Fantasy VII fans of all time, so I believe I can give a good opinion on Cloud's design, if it's going to be good or bad. I do think, depending on what they go with art style wise, the design could, I think the current design, the one that they showed in 2015, is a little bit gritty, but they've said they want to make it a little bit more goofy and dorky, kind of how Cloud was originally in the games, which he did kind of have some goofy tendencies and things, so
because of that.
Yeah, exactly. And they said they want to kind of bring that back a little bit, so the design could be good in that aspect. So I'm hoping they kind of tone back the grittiness and kind of bring it back to a little bit more of a just kind of lighthearted tone. Even though 7 was a very dark game, it definitely had a lot of lighthearted stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping when I go to that exhibit in Japan, I see the new screenshots, and I'll be reporting back if I see them. And that's all I have for news.
Well, I'll only interject for this. I hate Nomura and all he stands for.
Right.
So that's my stance. But I'll get into a little bit of my news segment. So
all right,
you take your business.
I need to go check something.
Yeah. All right. So this is a little bit in the real life segment, which doesn't happen. So the Montana governor, Steve Bullock, put an executive order that I think flips the bird on the whole net neutrality thing being rejected by Ajit Pai. So, to give you the spark notes of it, Montana governor kind of more or less is going to force the internet service providers, at least in Montana, to provide a to maintain their state contracts with them. Basically, which is the military, government, anything internet related with the government and military. It's like as long as they want to maintain those, those contracts within that state of Montana, they're gonna have to give Montana citizens internet net neutrality. So it's kind of a way to kind of like sidestep the whole, you can't defend net neutrality thing. So if a lot of the money, I know I'm not that well known with I'm not that well known with like internet real life stuff, but I mean those state contracts are very important to internet service providers. So this is a very good fuck you to them, and I'm all hands for that. That's definitely for sure. Next one I guess would be something about Logan Paul. Logan Paul does come back. Hi there. Hi, sweetie.
Just peeking in.
Just peeking in. Am I too loud?
No. Just curious.
Just curious, but we're doing the podcast.
Hi.
No, don't worry. No one's watching. Yeah.
Good. Hi.
Alright, so this is
Do you have
Serena.
trash on you?
I do have a few things, but I do have something
here.
here.
Let me take it for you.
Yeah, there's some taffy in there if you want to take a few.
What?
Taffy. Yeah, please. There's a few things in there, but otherwise I don't need it.
Candy.
Candy. I love candy. I'm a sweet tooth.
You know what? I edited that
Why don't you play some MCP pads?
No, keep it in. Keep it in. I love it.
Making more work for me. Alright.
I love it. Alright, so where was I? Where did I leave off? Alright.
So go on.
I'm gonna restart my segment. So Logan Paul returns to the YouTube after his, finding himself break after the whole fucking Akigahara forest incident.
Yeah.
Where the funny thing is, I didn't want to support his channel, so I had to watch it third party. But he kind of does this whole Castaway parody movie trailer vlog. Mm-hmm. So, fucking Logan Paul comes back as like fucking bearded, the man, the maverick, the other shit, and like, which is funny because like the clothing line Maverick doesn't want anything to do with Logan Paul anymore. Yeah, he's still using that fucking line. So, he's a fucking cancer in the world, but he comes back, and on the bright side of that, he's officially demonetized by YouTube. So
because
go on.
There was the whole Suicide Force thing.
Mm-hmm.
Then he had the whole thing with essentially, advertising or tempting his followers to, follow the whole Tide Pod thing, and he was kind of saying, oh yeah.
Ooh, I do have a fucking Twitter post about that.
I know, he said I'll eat one Tide Pod per retweet.
And he had I'm gonna say this straight up. I'm waiting for that to happen. I want him to fucking overdose.
Like 60,000 Tide Pods.
Over 40 million last time I checked.
Yeah.
No, 40,000 definitely, but 60,000?
I think it was 60,000 last I checked recently.
Okay.
But
so
and then the last thing was fucking tasing a dead rat, I believe it was.
You're kidding me.
On YouTube.
Right now? Recently?
He recently just made a new video where he was doing some kind of animal thing.
Oh,
and then he eventually started fucking tasing a dead rat. And then that was the trigger where YouTube said, alright.
You're demonetized?
You're demonetized forever.
Thank you for that context. But I mean, this is the problem with YouTubers like that. Because, like, they need to do the next big thing to get followers.
Yeah.
This is a small dent for him. But even then, YouTube needed to have done this 2 years back. And thank you. What is this? Chocolate nuts? I love me almonds. Okay. So, he's officially demonetized. That's all I know. You give me more context to that. and I thank you for that.
Yeah.
My next news segment. Do you like CNN?
No.
Okay, good. Do you like cooking?
I know where you're going with this because I read the article.
So, CNN kind of does this whole study thing where, like, they officially tell, I think live air and with the article, that cuckolding basically, can be positive for some couple. At least their study says.
Right.
So it's basically them giving the whole United States, their viewership basically, that like, yo, if you want to have a positive, healthy relationship, cuckolding's the way to go. And I have no idea what fucking thing they're smoking.
And that
it's
just
just
tells you the normal
state of
reader of CNN and what their readers are into,
No. I think to me it's just that their study was mostly male based. Like they didn't ask enough women because doubt women want to be cucked by their partner.
I'm literally not even going. I shouldn't even have clicked it
because you're giving them views right now, right?
But there's just so much wrong with that whole thing. Where you think that cuckolding is good for like
people,
relationships and marriages and all this stuff. It's just so far wrong. Where it's like if it comes to that point, then you should just not be together, essentially, because it's not for you.
I'll give my input on this. Cuckolding should only be a fantasy in hentai,
right? But
that's where it should stay. Maybe hentai, maybe some, some actual jabs, adult videos,
some jabs, giving some foreshadowing to a future thing that we're talking about.
Definitely related. Not related. Okay. But I mean...
But yeah, I know what you mean. It's like...
It should stay fiction. Don't fucking take their advice.
It's like the other things like rape fantasies and all this stuff. It's like, it stays fiction. Don't fucking go out and rape people.
Don't fucking rape women. Don't fucking cheat on your partner.
If you want to have fantasies about it, sure, okay.
Okay, even if you talk about it and she's okay with it and you're okay with it, that's your own deal. But a majority of it is basically, I don't want my partner to sleep with anyone else, and I won't sleep with anyone else.
Right.
Like, maybe the most I'll ever do is probably watch some jabs where that shit happens. Yeah. Because apparently Japan loves that stuff.
Even to me, it's like I can't even watch other people it happen to. It's like it hurts me inside. Like
just
it's okay.
It can make my it makes me cry down there, but doesn't make me cry up here where my eyes are. And right here in the heart.
Yeah.
It just I can't. It's not my thing.
I won't get into too many details, but
don't just follow CNN. Leave it fantasy. CNN is smoking their own lettuce.
Yes, fuck CNN. Like
you don't fucking listen to them.
Are you gonna listen to cucks? Are you gonna listen to a cuck?
These guys have it down to a fucking like Tuesday, man. Don't listen to them. A majority of people don't like being cheated on. Hands down, regardless of gender.
So, if your relationship's not going so well, try other things. Don't try cooking.
Yeah. Maybe get a hooker. That's it, a little different.
And share a hooker, yeah.
Share a hooker. But do that. But don't fucking cheat on their best friend.
Yeah.
Or their sister. Alright.
It's just too much. But
don't fucking cheat.
So, you got anything else for news?
I have a few more, but right, Metal Gear Solid 5.
Let's bang through them.
Let's bang through the Metal Gear Solid 5. So, there's officially the nuclear disarmament cutscene happened, where like the nukes are all gone in Metal Gear 5, except it isn't. It's an error. I have no idea how it happened, but something happened recently where like everyone got the fucking trigger cutscene for like everyone has the whole like all the nukes are gone, and by Konami technically. They were hinting that like the chapter 3 chapter 3 is basically what happens after all the nukes are gone. This triggered it. Nothing of that sort happened. And it's either an error, because of the error, it's not official. But I believe deep down, it's because they just cut content and they don't want to admit that to their player base and their fan base.
It was absolutely cut content. There was already things about that before it even came out that it was gonna have a crazy amount of cut content. And
like, I mean, yeah, the cutscene was available beforehand because people can like get into the fucking code and all that shit. But officially, it's been triggered already. So, Chapter 3 is a lie. Metal Gear Solid 5 fans, Phantom Pain fans, don't fucking... Excuse me. Don't fucking lie to yourselves. It's over. The dream is over. Alright. Now this is the... okay, there's two more. Viacom is in the talks, more or less, to talk about buying VidCon. No real news there. I don't care.
Right.
VidCon's cancer. But Viacom is gonna is gonna buy them. So that's something new. That's newsworthy. Now let's get into this thing that's kind of news epic, because two things happened in the NFL, and you already know the Eagles fucking won the NFL.
The Super Bowl, yep.
Super Bowl. Eagles fucking won, and this whole shit, and like it's a surprise and all that shit. Yeah, fucking Eagles won for the first
Big
time.
Deal. First time ever. Yeah.
First time ever. Now this is what is interesting, because there's like this whole thing going on where like, apparently they added 5 seconds to the original countdown for the Eagles to like, for basically the Patriots to try to like win, like it was down to the 20-second mark, and then like the minute 20 seconds happened, it jumped up to 25. So like a few people caught that. It's not even being spoken about right now, except for like just, at least in the news outlets, it's not being spoken about. But this whole thing about the whole 20 to 25 second jump is definitely cheating. They wanted to give the Patriots that edge ahead of their competition, and either way, the Eagles won. Now, I could talk about this next bit about Philadelphia, but I'm gonna save that for my rant section. So, we're done. Boom, boom, we did it.
Let's fucking smash through. Let's do a customary
clink.
News section clink.
Alright, so...
And now...
we're going to talk a little bit briefly, but...
Our topic. What's our topic, Edwin?
Our main topic.
Can you tell me before I switch the photo here?
Do you like Japanese actresses, of the adult variety? Because our main topic... I do. Yeah, you do? Because our main topic is jobs.
And who's the one... Who is not best girl, but breast girl? Tell me her name.
Her name? You mean my best girl. My breast girl. Hitomi Tanaka.
Boom.
Boom. Right there. Look at that titties. Jedi fucking swoosh. Damn. Alright, so this girl stacked like crazy.
Let's talk about Hitomi Tanaka and other jab girls.
We've got kind of a few segments, We're going to talk about our favorites.
We just want to talk about jabs.
The good, the bad. And that's kind of it.
So JAV, JAV standing for Japanese Adult Videos, if no one knows.
So I'm a big, huge fan of JAVs just because they know how to get into their content.
Yeah. The porn, it's good. You get all kinds of stuff. You get the normal porn stuff. You get lots of story-based stuff. You get anything you could ever think of. And it's...
it exists.
Something about it just feels more natural than, standard stuff like...
Definitely Brazzers
and shit like that, where it just feels so unnatural and just forced.
I've seen a hagao in fucking Brazzers. So it's just totally not something that works.
These things always feel so natural. That's what I love about them. And I just love Japanese girls.
I love honestly, yeah, I agree with you. The adult industry in Japan is definitely different than here, and it's definitely something that I really enjoy.
So, anyways, let's talk about some things. So
we're all men. We need our porn, but this is definitely on a different level. So, please, Sean, can you take it away?
Okay, so I'll get into the first section here. Our first section is our favorite JAV stars,
and I'll jump in after you finish your favorite.
So let me jump in the first one that got me into JAVs, Yuria Satomi.
Never heard of her.
So she's a nice, fair-breasted woman. Not massive, but she had nice, firm titties, short hair, and she had the nice aggressive femdom role usually.
That's a thing. That's a thing that I kind of enjoy. I love it.
She's what really brought me into the genre, and brought me in and kept me in. Unfortunately, nowadays she's retired. But
Like
I still always acknowledge her as what really got me into it, and then what kept me in afterwards. Ai Uehara, and you know this actress here. Another fair-breasted woman. But
another fair-breasted, beautiful girl.
Her tits weren't as firm, but they were nice and
she fat. Made it up with her face.
She had a great. I think she had a great body in general.
Great body, you know.
It was like cute. It was thick, but it wasn't fat. You know, it's like she was thick, but something about her. She was.
She's your next door neighbor that you've always wanted.
She was nice and thick, but not fatty. Something about her. She just had her nice, good thickness to her that was just right. But she did all kinds of roles. She had done hundreds at this point in time. Again, she is also retired just recently.
Yeah, which is unfortunate.
Last year, I believe.
You got me into her, like maybe a month or 4 months before she retired. So,
but yeah,
I cried down there and up here.
She'd done everything from schoolgirls to nude massage. Excuse me. To cosplay, to femdom, to, you know, gangbangs, cucking.
Shout out to CNN.
Like, she's done everything.
She's done a lot of roles.
Just look up Ai Uehara. She's very beautiful.
I like the way she looks, and I can agree.
So, those are my only two that started me off. Now they're retired, and so we've got the new blood. My new blood here.
Your new blood?
Mari Konishi. She's actually been around for a while. Even though she looks super young, I believe she's around 24, 25, close to our age. And she's a small-breasted woman with twin tails. She kind of rocks the twin tails look all the time. She does a lot of fairly lolly stuff, you know, kind of the dwarfism stuff here.
But she's just flat.
She's not even flat. She's about a B cup maybe, but she can make the flat stuff work if she really, you know, goes for it.
Does she have an ass? I'm all about that ass.
I showed you it yesterday. She definitely has an ass. Yeah. She's got small breasts and she's got an ass. Nowadays she doesn't do as many videos. She maybe does cosplay videos more so than anything.
Okay.
Otherwise she does mostly events and modeling stuff. So less videos than she used to. She used to do a ton of stuff. Like every single week I would see about 3 or 4 new videos of her. Nowadays it's like maybe like 1 or 2 a month. But she does modeling stuff. But she is my go-to for kind of the lolly-ish stuff.
I agree. And like, remember, we're only talking about jobs so that you can get a little bit culture about the Japanese culture.
Exactly, yeah.
It's the literal industry.
It's basically, they follow the doujinshi industry where even... So what happens in the JAV industry is a lot of times they have collaborations where they'll have a really popular doujinshi or H manga, and they'll make a JAV adaptation of the manga. And actually she was in one, and you know this artist as well, Mizu Ryuke.
Mizu
Ryuke.
You know, the one that does the whole Mizuruke lamp?
Exactly. She was in one of his adaptations. So they did an adaptation of one of the I'm sure you've seen the it's kind of a long going series, but the family that has like the short haired girl, and then the mom who's a big slut, and the sisters who are sluts and everything.
Yeah, I do notice that trend happening where hentai adaptations do get their own thing.
And she played one of the characters in one of those Mizuru UK adaptations. So to bring that up and the cultures, because sometimes it's crazy like that where the actual drawn manga will be so popular that it'll spawn 2D animation and it'll spawn JAVs collaborations.
3D stuff.
Exactly. So
I've seen a Gantz adaptation maybe somewhere around.
I saw one recently with the real big titty girl.
There's Street Fighter.
Yeah, there's Street Fighter. There's Attack on Titan.
So culture about, people make fun of fucking anime nerds and all that shit, but you don't understand. The culture is so real that it gets its own 3D lineup.
Exactly, and that transfers over to the 3D, the Jav industry. And so I have two more my favorite porn stars here. Soda Sheena.
Ooh.
She's very recent. Probably the last years when I very first saw her, and she's been big nowadays. She's one of the ones doing 3 to 4 every week. You see her in everything.
Okay.
And she does kind of the role of the not the tan, like a non-tan gyaru, Joshi Kosei, high school girl who's got the femdom kind of role. She's like the aggressive high school girl who'll take over the teachers, who be on the streets but be aggressive, that kind of stuff. And she does that role so well. It's so far beyond well. It's like you would think it's natural, which it very well could have been, but who knows. Anyways, she does that role so well.
And that's is there another porn actress?
She's my very favorite right now.
Any other ones? Or is that it?
One more.
There we go.
And her name is Yui Hatano. Now
I've heard that name. I don't have it on here, but I've heard it.
She fills very specific role, and it's certain MILF roles. She's got that real MILF vibe. And there's probably one doujinshi, I can't remember. It was probably like 3 years ago. That's one of my favorites of all time, an uncensored, which in the Jav industry is kind of a rarity. It's hard to find uncensored stuff because it has to be distributed outside of Japan foremost to be uncensored.
It's really hard to find.
Yeah,
uncensored.
She did one that was uncensored. That was one of my favorites of all time. Otherwise, she does mostly generic MILF stuff, but she was one of the early ones that also got me into it with that specific one, probably that I saw back in 2015.
All right.
Otherwise, that's my favorite Jav artist. What do you got for favorite Jav
so
artists?
Besides Ayo Hara that you mentioned, I agree, retired. You got me into it just like a few months before I got into it.
Right.
And it's sad. She's cute, but that's the appeal of her. She was cute. She had she was just right. But I'm gonna continue on that and just go a little higher. I'm into a gal named Kaho Shibuya, who I just met recently, who does a bunch of I guess a lot of the adaptations that you mentioned. She's done a few cosplay photo shoots and all that other stuff.
Right.
She does a lot of forced roleplay stuff, or forced stories. So she gets assaulted every now and then. One of them was just she's a cop taking out a drug bust, and she gets captured and all that stuff. So that's one of them, But she's fine. I'd say she's a big titted girl you probably enjoy. Now going on big ass, decent titties, but big ass. It's definitely Mion Hazuki. She's still going on strong, and she does a bunch of other stuff. But I love that ass, man. I'm not just a titties guy. I'm an ass man. I love it. Oh, I have no idea what you're doing there, but I'm gonna.
I was trying to show something, but yeah, go ahead.
I'm an ass man, and it's very fucking fine. She does a bunch of other stuff. She has a great steamy Twitter. If you ever have a chance, do follow her. But now it's time to talk about the main girl who's who Obi-Wan Kenobi is force pushing to fucking break that fucking nurse outfit.
The woman herself, the breast girl.
The breast girl, not just any breast girl, the breast girl of the industry. There are others who have bigger tits, but not as notable as the one and only Hitomi Tanaka.
That's her.
This is the one that officially started me down the road of jazz, and she's practically done almost everything. Mostly cuckold stuff, mostly MILF stuff, and There's a few things I don't like her in, but that's just for a different segment. Just saying. These are our favorites as actresses. Hey, if we ever have one for males, we'll figure it out. But
I have one that I could pick out. I just don't know his
for
name
men
because they don't usually list their names, but it's hard to find. But
all right,
I have one that I've seen multiple times. But...
All right. So our next segment, which I shall strongly, boldly go towards, where no man has gone before, is the good. Before we go to the bad, but the good. My good is like big titties, small swimsuits. I like voyeur. Forced is a thing. It depends on the story. Sometimes I can get into it. Sometimes it's just unreasonable and other shit. You got MILF, you got cosplay. There's just a few other stuff we could go into, but downright, I'm a fan of lovey-dovey stuff.
I'm definitely a fan.
I'm a fan of those stuff, and it's cute. Sometimes hey, I'm a man, and if there's anything you should know about men, is that it doesn't take a lot to fucking get us crying. Down south, at least. But if you want to feel good, you need to have some love in your life, and sometimes you just need to watch some good porn that gets you fucking happy in both sections of the soul, down there and up here. So I'm a big huge fan of that. So Sean, what are your goods? And you probably will enlighten me a bit.
My favorite things in jabs in general that you'll find
the good, right?
Top one, cosplay. Because you can find some good ass cosplay.
I've seen some good ass cosplay,
and it's a very popular thing. I mean,
which is costume play,
Exactly, and I think probably a good 15 to 20% of all jabs are probably cosplay related in some way. If only just maids and things like that, So just some kind of costume play, either anime characters, maids, schoolgirls, that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
you can find all kinds of good stuff there.
I've seen World of Warcraft and Brazzers. World of Warcraft.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
and it's awful.
And it's awful, but it's fucking funny.
But
I'm just saying, Jap have it down by the fucking.
Oh yeah, they've got it down.
All right, and
so otherwise, Nuru. If you don't know what Nuru is, that's some Soapland-esque shit.
Okay,
so that's like massaging with the entire body.
Okay.
With lubed up body, naked body, massaging someone.
That is a fun
washing
thing.
them.
It is a big huge joke here, at least in the West, the whole nudity thing. But I mean, I don't know how Japan does it, but I mean, they fucking have that as an art form. But over here, that's we joke around about the whole nude massage thing, so that's something. And what else?
So we've got gyarus. I love me some fucking gyarus.
I love me some tan girls.
Too. Not even tan ones, but the ones that have that gyaru acting, where it's they act like they're above everyone else. It's the strong, independent girls, that either do the acting. You're probably thinking of the tan girls, ganguros.
Oh, my bad, ganguro.
Gyaru is kind of just the girls who are kind of above. They have a certain personality to them, and they usually are the ones that they don't really follow the Japanese society stuff. It's they don't act submissive and everything like that. They're very open with their emotions and everything.
I can't think of any right now off the top of my head, but I mean, yeah.
And that's something that Sora Shino does a lot of. She does the very gyaru kind of girl stuff. I'm sure if you've seen the girls that wear the high socks with the skirts and the high socks
and booty shorts, basically.
Right.
No, they're basically rebels into society.
Exactly. That's what the word I was thinking. They're kind of rebels, essentially.
All right. Yeah, they don't act like culturally shy girl kind of thing.
Exactly.
I like that. And she has a direction. She's very straightforward, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. I dig that. Sometimes the girl needs to take control. Sometimes, they need to have that turned around on them. It depends on the Depends on the situation, but I mean.
And yeah, my favorite girl who does it right now, Sodashina.
Sodashina. Okay.
And we've got, I put Femdom on here, but that's kind of in the same vein because usually those kind of Yadu stuff, it goes in that same hand in hand, Other ones, my favorite MILF stuff. Again, I said Yui Hatano, she does that stuff. Even when they're around, Yoriya Satomi and Ayohara kind of did the MILF thing occasionally because they could fit that role. And then pet stuff. So human pet stuff,
Okay, so
the girls with the collars.
So like, kind of stuff. I mean, that's kind of a BDSM thing.
It's a little bit, but just less abusive, more so just kind of
BDSM
submissive.
Isn't always abusive, but I mean, it is
just kind of falls that same aspect. But anyways, those are my favorite things that I like watching as far as Jeff. So what?
Right. So Sean,
yours?
No. We already got into that. I'm not good.
Oh, okay. So you want me to go into the darkness?
You started us off into the darkness.
Let me go into my first one.
The bad.
Netorare. NTR.
Which is, NTR.
Cuckolding. Now, roughly, probably 25 to 30% of all jabs are going to be NTR, unfortunately.
And if you're watching me, like, if you're watching Hitomi Tanaka, that's probably like a good 60% of her stuff.
So yeah, if you're not into cuckolding, then you're going to have to sort through more porn than you're used to. In general, because you're gonna find a lot here. It's just something common in Japanese culture. They love that kind of stuff. So it's if you've gone through hentai and stuff, you're used to it.
I'm used to it.
You're gonna have to sort through more of it.
I can separate that as a fantasy. That's the thing.
Exactly.
Which is why that CNN is telling me, hey, cuckolding is saying you should, for a healthy relationship. It's why you can't look at it that way.
But yeah, so. You're gonna be used to it if you know that stuff. If you don't know anything about javs or hentai, then you're gonna see it more than you maybe care to. But otherwise, the other things I'm not a fan of: tentacle jabs.
They're terrible.
They're usually. I've never seen one that's good. So
no, they should stay 2D, where they can actually animate that shit. Maybe CG animate that shit.
Maybe,
but
yeah.
Definitely not.
When they try to go full on, yeah.
Even I don't like that shit. I don't. And I have a story to go into that. But that's for another day. Let's just say that octopus should have died.
Alright. We'll go with that. So, and then my last unfavorite thing is just bondage.
I have to fight you a little bit on that. But
I'm just not a fan. I've seen a lot, and it's just something I can't get into, and you will also find, because it's also a really big fetish in Japanese, especially adult video communities. Bondage is a big thing. You're going to find quite a lot of bondage with ropes and all that stuff. I can explain to you why I like it. Okay.
But I mean, it's a trust thing. Like, this is why, like, not all bondage is abuse and all that shit. Don't trust 50 Shades of Grey shit for your bondage material.
Never seen it.
That's not even bondage. That's just abuse. It's all abuse. It's just a one-sided abuse love story. And ignore that shit. Bondage is a little bit more than that. It's a partnership. It's almost like a contract between you and this other person.
Right.
So
anyways, that's as far as I have as jabs. So what are the ones that you hate?
It's very small, but you already mentioned tentacles. Tentacles should stay fictional, as it is. And there's a little bit more to why I hate them, but that's another story. I'm not drunk enough to tell that story. I am, but I won't. But you know what I really hate? I hate little boys. I hate that fetish. Also known as Shotokan.
Mm-hmm.
I absolutely hate that fetish. And even though there are adult actors who are basically dwarfs who look very young for their age, I hate that shit. Nothing gets me more worked up and furious than that shit. I hate it. It should stay fiction. Even then, I will never seek it out. I hate it. Same with like lolly is very difficult because I know dwarf girls.
Mm-hmm.
I know dwarf girls. It's just I've grown up with of people of like small individuals,
right?
Which is basically most of my fucking like my little small town kind of like thing. We're all small people, but it's different when it's just literally they look like little boys, which has been fetishized in anime, hentai, like a lot of Japanese medium. It's been fetishized. I absolutely hate it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I can see that.
It should stay it should stay fiction. I hate it.
I got you.
Like, and you may not like bondage, but I love it as like a whole different thing. It's not abuse.
It's not.
Like,
there is a trust.
There is a trust thing.
I can appreciate that, but there's just something about it that I can't. I guess it's just personally I can't get off to it. But I guess I don't hate it.
It depends. Sometimes fandom goes into its BDSM. Sometimes it's the reverse of that.
Right.
So I do like bondage, but back onto the subject. I only hate two things. I could probably dig a little bit deeper, but so far I can only think of two: tentacles and Shotokan. I hate that shit. And as for lollies, my excuse is dwarf girls.
Okay.
That's it. Dwarf boys. Yeah, yo. Have you seen a dwarf boy that looks like he's fucking 12 or younger?
Yes.
That's basically fiction to me. I will not accept it as real life. I never will.
Alright. I get you.
Alright, so that's the bad. And, I'll give a little shout out to R18. R18 will never sponsor us because they're not watching us or anything, but I will say this. You guys made a very good, decent mobile app for the go. So whenever you need to cry, you're winky, you have our shit going because you know how to fucking make an app work. A third party app. But I mean a good app nonetheless.
I only use PC for these things. Why did the picture change? But anyways, I only use PC, so I don't use R18. I do know of the site, but unfortunately I don't use these guys.
Yeah, R18 has a huge database that you can fucking look at.
I do know. As far as jabs go, though.
As far as jabs go?
Let me give my quick shoutouts. It's Jab Junkies and One Jab.
Jab Junkies probably have a mobile app going on.
They might. They're old school. But nowadays I don't use them. I use One Jab. But that's all I always want to say. So is that it for
jabs? Yeah,
for jabs?
We finished it.
Alright.
And all we have to do is our recommended, and then our last two segment, rants and tag.
Alright.
So we could probably get through this in a second.
Let's bust it out.
Recommendations. I shall start this off. What you should watch is Yudu Camp, Laid Back Camp. It's a very cute, relaxing anime about literally middle school or high school girls fucking going out camping. So it's just like, it teaches you just a little bit about camping, a little bit about like what you need to do, how to start it off. And even then, like, it's such a relaxing anime that like you can just enjoy. Anyone can enjoy it. And if you don't feel like you can take on the world in a camping little tent, there's something wrong with you. Absolutely, you have no soul. And I'm saying that right now. It makes me feel good right here in the kokoro.
It does. It makes me feel good.
Yeah, and it's so cute. Plus, can you show... Oh, we already got it on screen. That girl is the best girl.
Aoi? Yes,
Aoi is the best girl. There's not that much hentai stuff out there for her yet. There's some stuff, not a lot.
You can find a bit on Pixiv if you search enough.
But definitely C94, there's going to be at least 7 stuff.
C94 would be glorious.
Yes. C94 is Comic Cat.
That's going to be Comic Cat Summer.
So, Comic Cat have a...
So look around for about June, July.
Comic Cat has 2 events every year.
2 events every year. There's a winter and a summer.
So this is the 94th event.
And so you'll see it around, I think, June, July. Look for some Eurocamp stuff, because you won't be disappointed.
Alright, so
And so what do you got for
Reading.
Reading,
I
yeah.
just lost this. Alright, I got it up. Vinland Saga. You know, I'm a huge fan of Vikings. You know, I like 40k, and there's a special army called the Space Wolves, which is basically Space Vikings.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I play a game called For Honor, which has Vikings. Yo, man, Vikings. Vinland Saga is like a really great, you know, graphic novel, manga, basically manga to me, graphic novel because to the plebeians, about Vikings doing their own shit, a little bit of extra stuff, and like it's a mix of a revenge story / a redeeming Christ story.
Right.
Because Christ is mentioned every now and then, but I mean, Vinland Saga still have that whole bite of Viking shit. Like right now, earlier I mentioned the whole Jomsborg thing. Jomsborg, I think, are real. If you can Google that a little bit later.
Mm-hmm.
But they're a real clan of warrior cultures, and yeah, they did not fucking wear horns. Vikings never wore horns. It's just a fucking stereotype. Alright? Shout out to you.
Last
recommendation?
for
You know, I say Monster Hunter, but that was the last thing I mentioned. Last podcast. But it's Shadow of the Colossus. If you've never had the opportunity to play it, it doesn't matter if you play it on the original PS2
or the version for PS3 or PS4
or
HD
the new
remake.
HD remake, which
Play
is PS4. Yeah, play it. It's an amazing game. It's the hero's journey, and I grew up Christian / Catholic, which is basically, you know, a good / evil thing going on. And Shadow of the Colossus have that thing down. You will question your decisions playing that game, and you will soldier on, and you will fucking cry. You will learn your actions have consequences.
It's amazing.
That game is amazing.
It is amazing. It's so simplistic too. It's like it doesn't have to go with a whole huge amount of dialogue or anything. You really just feel it from the world and everything like that. There's probably less than 200 words in the entire video game.
I love the fact, what I love about Shadow of the Colossus too is that it's a made up language too that they're using, a mix of English and Japanese.
Yeah.
But if you can figure out a way to fucking make that shit a real language that I can learn, I will fucking talk that. That would be my fourth language I'll learn.
It's hard to tell if people have actually, or if it even was made with a proper structure, but regardless, it's
Team Ico did make a actual alphabet for it, but I mean, Shadow of the Colossus are technically using the same thing. But I recommend that. And go on.
Good shit.
Sorry,
Oh no, I was just saying, yeah, just fucking play it, dude. It's like you can get it on any PlayStation console essentially, except for PS1
and maybe PC. I think PC exists.
They don't have one yet. I'm sure. I feel like they're going to come out with one, but
and if not, you can emulate it.
Yeah.
At this point,
it's very easily emulatable on PS2, but probably even PS3. But you can play it if you actually want to play it. You can play it, and you could play it, and you should.
I recommend it, and that's my recommendation.
All right, so let me go into mine. Final Fantasy Type 0 HD. I went on it for maybe 20 minutes at least in this cast.
That's your playing, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's a video game. Fucking play it. Like
you sold me on it, and you're gifting it.
I'm going to gift it to you, guaranteed. Don't leave it as the game that came with the Final Fantasy 15 demo, because
I've disowned 15. I told you.
It's honestly so amazing. Like if you can get past the gameplay's a little bit. It's definitely not like any Final Fantasy you've ever played, but if you can get through that and actually just play through it, and if you honestly like get into the story, go through the library and read all the side stories and everything,
because they make the game a lot more better, I'm assuming.
Yeah, exactly. There's just so much story in there to digest.
Okay, it's
amazing.
So what are you going to recommend to read?
To read, so this one's a little bit of an older one that I've read. Murasaki-ro no Qualia.
In English?
So it's a Qualia of the Purple.
I've never heard of it.
It's not terribly old, but I read it maybe 4 or 5 years ago. So it's a manga. It's kind of a weird one. you won't get what it's about just reading the synopsis or anything.
Okay.
Even reading the first half of it, you won't get it. So there's these two girls. It almost feels like a Yuri manga at first, where one girl is this tomboy girl who's, you know, going to a new school and everything, and this other girl sees everything as robots. She has purple eyes and she sees everything as robots.
Oh, okay.
But it becomes very different halfway through it, and it becomes very science fiction, and actually even hits a bunch of different genres throughout the entire series. But they're not like basic ass boring genre switches. It hits almost every single genre, and it hits them very interestingly, like action, adventure, all these things within, I think it's 26 chapters. It's pretty short. Like, you could read it in one evening.
So it's over, basically.
Yeah, you could read it in one evening pretty easily. And the
it's
twist,
not like Berserker that takes fucking 30 years.
It's already done. It's finished. It's finished a long time ago. And you could just read it in one evening. And the twist at the end, it really gives you so much like to it. It brings up feels, all this stuff. Like it's beautiful.
Okay.
Murasakiro no Qualia, or Qualia of the Purple.
And what about watching?
So I'm going, as I've been doing for I think the past 4 casts, it's going to be another space anime, because I'm always loving my space anime.
I do love space.
So Towards the Terra, or Terra E, is the Japanese version. So this came out in 2007. It's a bit of an older one, 10 years or so. So it's got kind of a science fiction slash space opera vibe to it.
Okay.
You've got kind of this race of supernatural humanoids, and then you've got humans that don't really like each other.
Okay.
And it has this whole space opera thing too, so you can expect like large scale space battles, really interesting characters with their own, kind of stories and inspirations and what they want to do in this story and all this stuff.
All right.
I don't want to go too much into it because there's so much that could be spoilers, but Towards the Terra, if you like space operas or space anime in general, supernatural space anime, fucking go for it. I think it was maybe 20 something episodes, but
okay.
I watched it a few years back, and it's definitely one of my tops. Maybe even I'd have to watch it again
to make
tell,
a good assumption,
but it's probably one of my top 10s.
But that's a very strong statement.
I love space
coming
anime.
from you.
Yeah, it's an amazing one. So
all right, so we have a rant segment, and then we have our tags, which finishes it off. So
so
let's clink.
Let's do another little clinky clink.
So Sean, could you start us off with our rant segment?
So my rant is about Queen Bee. So Queen Bee, the hentai 2D animation studio. So my rant here about them is that Queen Bee is a studio that gets rights to do anime adaptations of very top tier doujinshi and H manga, but their quality is so low. It's amongst the lowest of all animated hentai ever, and I hate it because they get some really good stuff like Shiwasu no Okina. They get Boshi, Akazawa Red, Monorino, Midori no Rupe, Higashima Sho, one of my favorite of all time, and Pija for Neshio. Like, oh my god, there's just so many, and there's more that I'm not even mentioning right now. But Queen Bee, they get so many different rights to do anime adaptations of all these different shows, and they just sully them so hard every single time. They just they just bring the quality down. It's like I'm so excited every time I hear about a new Queen Bee. Well, I guess I shouldn't see. It's like I'm excited until I hear that Queen Bee is the one doing the adaptation, because once I hear, it's like I heard that Pija. So Pija is one of the artists that I've recently gotten into, probably in the past year, that I love his stuff so much. Like, definitely one of my favorite new artists. And then once I hear that it's Pija, I go, okay, who's doing the adaptation? And then I see it's fucking Queen Bee. And then I know it's gonna be a big fucking piece of trash. And then I watch it, and it's a big piece of trash. I can't fap to Queen Bee. It's trash, dude. And they get some of my very favorite adaptations, or just my favorite H manga. Shiwasu no Okina, Higashima Sho, Pija, fap to those artists hundreds of times, and then Queen Bee gets the 2D adaptation. They just ruin it. They just ruin it for me.
Okay.
It's brutal, man. It's a hard life out here for someone wanting to get good adaptations of doujinshi.
All right.
Fucking Queen Bee.
Fucking Queen Bee.
So that's it for my rant here.
Well, I'll be starting on a bit of a rant, but it's fairly quick. CNN, hate them. They're into cuck shit. It just says a lot about them. So next one is YouTube. I mean, it's if you're definitely left leaning, I'd say conservative, actually, right leaning conservative.
Right, yeah.
You're definitely gonna be in it and in for a lot of shit because YouTube is definitely left leaning. I'm not a conservative. I'm in the middle ground, but even then, I do not approve of shutting someone down because of their thoughts. That's just my thing. I hate that shit. And YouTube's definitely showing off that yeah, it's bad. This is what YouTube's supporting. I mean, hey, we had Logan Paul for how many years? And that just says a lot about them.
Yeah.
Alright.
That they've just now demonetized them after.
Another thing I hate about rants, this is another section of my rant. Konami, why won't you admit that there's no Chapter 3? I mean, you have egg on your face already. You've had egg on your face already. And right now with this whole era shit, it just proves that you just hate fucking Kojima. It's just straight up true. You just hate Hideo Kojima.
Absolutely.
Alright. This is probably the one that I really want to get into the meat and potatoes of. Probably for a minute or two straight. But Philadelphia. I mean, I guess regardless if your team wins, you're gonna riot anyways, but it just looks bad on you. So Philadelphia, this is literally me calling you out. Why the fuck would you destroy your own city for a victory? I mean, just because you fucking won once, right? What's the score? Let me see. Eagles won 34-28.
This is a different one. Sorry, I was looking at something else, but the Eagles won this year 41-33. But I was looking at last year because the Patriots, who lost this year, won last year. But New England did not have a fucking riot,
Yeah, I mean, wow, why would you destroy your city? You destroy your property. I don't care. You have that right. You can destroy your shit. Don't destroy other people's shit. Seriously. Do you not have fucking respect for your neighbors or anyone else? This is honestly, our founding fathers did not fucking leave the British Empire just so that they could have their shit destroyed, because that's basically what the British Empire did back in the day.
Yeah.
Key word, back in the day. You were a part of the British Empire. So once we divided from them, we wanted our shit. So why would you allow other people, or rather, why would you destroy other people's shit, given that it's basically what our founding fathers fought for? The right to have our own stuff. And even before the whole United States establishment, you had, people wanted to have rights for their own property. Don't destroy people's properties. I mean, I don't want to fucking make it sound bad or racist or anything like that, but holy shit, why would you destroy people's property? It doesn't even matter what your gender, what your race is, what your fucking religious beliefs are. You're in the United States. Don't destroy people's properties. Don't destroy your shit. Fuck it. Don't kill people. Don't fucking destroy other people's shit. It's simple. Don't fucking go past that line, man. Destroy your shit. No one's gonna give a damn in the long run. But no. Just because you fucking had a victory. I mean, I'm surprised, it's just for a loss. I mean, it's just for a victory, not a loss. I mean, Philadelphia should have been destroyed 15 times over then. But if that's the reason. But holy shit, I hate them.
Yeah.
I fucking hate... You guys make the entire country look bad.
It does, yeah. It just looks like a bunch of fucking apes just screaming around about a fucking sport.
Like, I kid you not, it just looks so bad. Alright, now my last rant section, it's not even a rant, it's a statement. Logan Paul, I'm waiting. I want you to eat those Tide Pods.
Everyone's
all
waiting.
60,000.
Anyone who retweeted wanted
60,000? Every tweet, I want you to eat a Tide Pod. I don't care if you're fucking like already overdosing already. Someone's gonna have to force feed you that shit. I don't want you to live anymore.
Yeah.
You're basically a cancer. And I, honestly, I'm a few drinks in and all that shit. You know, normally I don't advocate for this stuff, but there are scummy people in this world. And then there's Logan Paul. Do us a favor. Get out of this fucking universe. Go. Get out of this reality.
Exit the world.
All right, let's finish the segment.
Last little bit, tags.
Our favorite segment to leave off of. You know, something to enlighten you about the greatness of anime and.
So would you like to go on with your tag, or would you like me to do mine?
I'll do mine since it's just a little easy to go through.
All right.
But I'm a big huge fan of Mizuki, also known as swimsuits in Japanese. So I got the textbook definition right here on my page. Description: an outfit worn specifically for swimming. Note: is required for the bikini tag. Required. And it should not be confused with leotard or school swimsuits. Which is weird because school swimsuits are swimsuits. You know, just put it in there. It doesn't matter. Whatever. But I'm a fan of swimsuits, and you know, a lot of artists do lewd ass fucking swimsuits. I wish they were real, but you know, hey, you know, not everyone has that bravery to fucking do that shit. So whatever. Swimsuits, I love them.
I love them too.
We like going to beaches just for the girls, and that's just an example. I
appreciate them. So let me get into mine here.
All right.
Because I'm always on the darker side here.
Yes, and I shall join you next spiritually next podcast. I have to go to the darker side.
Yeah. So my tag here is human cattle. If you can imagine, you know, women being taken into essentially barns or something otherwise to be treated as cows, either for breeding or for milking purposes. So two artists here that I'll mention that...
Is this a fetish? Just saying.
It's a very strong fetish. You can probably find less than 400 doujinshi on X-Hentai or otherwise. There's not very much, but...
It exists.
It exists, and it's a strong one.
Yo, I gotta say, sometimes, you know, men are simple. It doesn't take much to make us cry down there. But this is when I advocate.
So two of my favorites that have done this in the past are, Asanagi has done some.
Asanagi?
And then Fando Hitori. Fando Hitori does some pretty dark stuff in general, but...
if I can say, Tarapun does some good ones, except it's really more vanilla-based.
His is vanilla-based, but the real, like, industrial, very dark stuff is gonna be like Fando Hitori.
I could probably think of another one if I can remember the guy, but he did one.
But just imagine, you know, 10 girls lined up inside of a barn.
Kizuki Ai does that? No, Kizuki Rei does some human cattle stuff too.
Probably, yeah.
So yeah, it's a good one.
But yeah, just imagine, you know, a bunch of girls in a barn essentially being
or kept, a school,
kept just for
and that's the program.
Kept just for breeding purposes or for milking purposes, and that's the kind of shit you're getting into. It's dark.
It is dark. I mean,
but I love it. I'm all into that corruption, that mind breaking, that corruption kind of shit.
Honestly, I feel like a saint in comparison to your presence here. And even then, no, not even. Yo, I'm into cuckolding, and you won't go past that line.
Something about cuckold, again, my brain inhibits me.
Cuckold and NTR?
My brain just stops me from cuckolding, but I can get into some other dark shit, you know.
See, All right.
But anyways,
to each their own. We know, like we say, this is all fiction. You know, this is hentai tags, and it's usually associated with artists or just kind of just what we like. But you know, hey, that's the tags, and so that ends our dirty casual corner. I think
that's it. This is a big long one. Oh, a little 3.25 hours here.
Yeah, I mean, it's not the longest one we've ever had, but it's definitely one that like we've got enough practice to definitely breeze through a lot of the other stuff. So yeah, you know, hey, let's finish it up with a clink.
All right, let's finish it with a clink. And again, so we won't. At least I won't be present in a show for at least a month.
Yes,
I'm going to Japan. Of all things, I'm going to be experiencing some good things in Japan.
Yeah.
Hopefully Soapland, hopefully some other stuff, Akihabara, Osaka, Kyoto.
Speaking of which,
Tokyo. But otherwise, you might get an episode with just Edwin and David.
My guest who's going to be our co-host for the next he was in podcasts.
I believe he was in number 2 and number 7, if I remember right.
Number 2 and 7, yes.
So enjoy that, guys.
Honestly, like
I'll be back for at least number 10 to share my experiences with Japan.
You know, yeah, definitely. Hey, like you said, like tell us a little bit about your adventures there. You know, hey, you know, we'll all thank you for it, and
it should be a fun.
Well, thank you guys for listening. You know, we hope we enlightened you a little bit about what we know about Japanese culture, what the fetishes that they like, and you guys have a good evening / good night, good day, whatever. It doesn't matter.
Right.
Just as long as you hate Logan Paul. Guys, let's get together to get him to eat Tide Pods.
Hate Logan Paul, love anime. That's all you need to do.
There you go. Love anime, love games, maybe read some manga and some books.
Alright, guys.
Yourselves.
Take care, everyone.
Alright. You guys have a good evening / good night, whatever. Alright, take care.
See you.
Bye.